right, let's begin. So we open tonight at the location of the Golden Fortune, about a quarter mile out to sea off the Sword Coast. The Sea Ghosts, you guys gather up your crew, raise your anchor, and disembark. As you leave the sunken casino ship behind, you see several ships still in the area. They're bringing in rowboats and picking up survivors that are kind of all returning to their ships. The Sea Ghost makes its way into the night and headed back towards Seaton and the Monastery of Oman. Early the next morning, feeling well rested, you guys all took your long rest. The travelers find themselves in the meeting room, sitting at the officers' table with the galley cooked specialty breakfast plates in front of you. It's seafarer's omelet. It's like a consistency of like a runny egg mixture and fish and chunks of stale bread and harana fruit kind of like all mashed together. You guys all sit around the table with the prong holder of the trident in the middle of the table. And as the morning sun kind of like shines through one of the portholes onto the pewter-colored adamantine holder, you guys all sit there and study the holder well. For the first time, protruding from the crossbar are 3 cylindrical tubes. Each one's about 3/4 inch in diameter, and they're about 3 inches long. And it kind of like the crossbar kind of like shapes up as like in a U shape, as like you guys have seen what a trident looks like before. And each and ornately inscribed is what you guys saw last time in the vault is the abyssal lettering on one side of the crossbar that kind of like fits into the to like the U shape of this crossbar. And below that is a single centralized cylinder. It protrudes from the bottom of the crossbar. It's about 1 inch in diameter, about 4 inches in length. And now for the first time, as you guys sit there and kind of all study this thing, you all notice that the holder has this 2-inch diameter spherical indentation on the side that's opposite of the side that has the writing on it. And as you guys kind of all sit there quietly, thinking amongst yourselves and eating your omelets, a knock comes at the door as you hear the voice of Mester and interrupt the room, and he says, "Oh, sorry to disturb you, Captain. First Mate Bobby wishes to report we shall be approaching the Monastery of Oman within the next hour." With that, the room is yours, guys. What do you want to do?
After noticing the indentation, can I roll Arcana or something to try to figure out if like a gem or something else should go in there?
Yeah, so like you spot that right away. It's like the sides of this, similar to the gems that you guys have seen already in the Cazador volcano. This looks similar. Definitely the way that the indentation looks like easily a magic gem that you kind of have studied a little bit. Snothers would appear to fit in that indentation.
You see Snozzlers take out the heart and like eye it in the gem hole.
No.
All right, put
Vitor
the heart
grabs
back.
his breakfast and scoots a little farther away from Vitor, or not himself. It's not.
He just puts himself.
Snolders, I don't think that will fit.
No, it's not. Snozzlers agrees. Snozzlers thinks that a gem goes in here. If it wasn't already apparent, I made sure that I think it's apparent.
Do we have any gems that would fit that?
I'll pull out a diamond that we got from Cazador and
Snozzlers has some, but Snozzlers thinks that it's probably going to be a specific one. Just to think. I doubt we can just grab a random pole and stick it in this hole as he like motions to the bottom of the staff or the trident.
I'm sure you could, but I don't think anything would happen.
I got one, but I would like to turn that into coin.
Wait, so does this look like, other than the gem slot, a full top? Because you described it as tubes, like we're missing tongs?
Right, yep.
Yeah, I think we're missing the 3 prongs that come out of the top of it and the handle.
Right, yep.
Well, then Snozzlers is confused because this was supposed to be 1/3 of the trident, was it not? Sounds like it's 1/6.
6th. 7th if it's got something that goes on the end of the shaft.
yeah, or if the
Snozzlers is going to assume it's circumcised.
it might not be though, and it also we might have several pieces of the half. It might be like 2 or
So
3
we have
separate.
1/100th of the trident. Nautilus thinks
Somewhere
this is a good
between
idea.
1/2 and 1/100th. Yes.
It's gonna be a long campaign.
I got a splinter. It's in my finger. We'll get it out on the boat.
Oh, fuck.
Nice. Well, at least we got a start, right?
Oh, that reminds me. Snodulus has a potion of greater healing, which he takes out of his bag and puts on the table. Someone want to trade me with a normal potion or two?
I think we're pretty low on potions, to be honest.
I don't have any.
Me neither.
Well, Snodulus has no need for this greater healing potion.
I mean, I'll put it in my bag.
I am removing it from my inventory. It is a potion of healing greater.
I don't even have stuff to make new potions either, so we should probably go buy some or buy some supplies.
How are we on supplies for the ship?
I thought we had just stocked up.
Yeah, you guys just stocked up.
We 100% did.
Yeah, because you left
Okay.
Seaton and you did a little half a day.
Oh yeah,
journey,
yeah. That's right.
Murdered the people on the ship and then came back.
For some reason, I thought I forgot Seaton for some reason, and I was just thinking of the Kurstock.
Seaton! Snodulus wants to go back to Seaton. Snodulus has gold for scrolls.
Yeah, I think we should.
We're gonna have to stop there anyway to get the sails, or not the sails, the flags. But they got another at least a day.
Snodulus also thinks that we should probably warn the shadow people that we have some idiots with us that sold them out.
I don't know if we should go back there. I mean, I guess we could send word.
Oh, and just notionally, before we went to bed, I'm going to blow my last spell slot and resummon my familiar and take out the charcoal that I purchased earlier.
Okay.
Greater potion of healing, right?
Potion of healing, parentheses, greater. Yes, sir.
Yep. All right. It's added 44 plus 4.
Correct.
Damn.
44.
Yeah, it's actually it's a greater healing potion. It's pretty great.
So, when we get back to Salt Marsh, are we gonna just drop the trident off there, or are we gonna take it with us?
Snodulus takes it off the table and puts it in his bag of holding.
Okay.
I mean, Snodulus thinks that we have to at least keep it with us. If this is the most important piece we have, why wouldn't we keep it with us?
The only piece we have.
Good
Tell
thinking.
me, Antorus, tell Snodulus that he's wrong if this is not the most important piece we have.
We're both right.
Yeah, sure.
It's the most important piece we have because it's the only piece we have.
Snodulus, still argue. The pointy end is the most important part.
We don't even have the pointy end. It's the piece that holds the points.
If you don't have this piece, though, Snodulus thinks all you have are dots.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with darts.
Snodulus looks at his spellbook and looks at magic missile. He's like, Snodulus thinks you're right.
How far away did you say we were from the temple?
So you're about an hour or so away from the temple. So I can go put you guys back on the map. So if you guys kind of remember, the Temple of Oman is actually reasonably close. It's just south, like around the corner of the harbor of Seaton. So I don't know let me see if I can put you on the map so maybe you can get a better visual of where it was.
Yeah, I think the plan was to, before the Golden Fortune, was to go Rashad to Seaton, then hit the temple, then swing by the house, then go to Kolos' home, then go to Seacrest, then head down to Candlekeep. Unless I'm forgetting something.
There was one other small stop.
You guys talked about going. I remember you guys talked about going by the lizard folk, but I brought up we could talk to the representative in Saltmarsh.
The Isle of Abbey is right north of Saltmarsh. And that is a place where Sadaka suggested we look for a piece of the trident. Or, he didn't say trident, he just said they're just search there. To me, in my meditation. Or ask the priests on the island.
Okay. Well, I know we're going to Seacrest to. They're supposed to know where I think it's the Shark Queen is, and she might know where her piece is.
Mm-hmm.
And
But if we're going back to Saltmarsh, we could just hit that up also.
where's
Saltmarsh.
the island on the map?
It's not on this map, sadly.
Oh,
Well,
gotcha.
the island of Abbey is on the map technically. It's this little island that's right near Saltmarsh.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
You guys have gone by it when you were traveling up the coast with Randall and Phil, but they didn't really point it out or anything. But yeah, you guys noticed the island before.
I didn't know what it was until I talked to Hector and he informed me.
Yeah, Hector would have kind of known a little bit more of the geography.
But yes, that is the gist of the route we'll be taking. If anyone else has any other things they need to do on the way, I'm sure we could stop.
Snodlers is actually still confused what we plan on doing today.
We're heading to my temple to see why it was attacked. Maybe something is there. I mean,
So Snodlers will make sure that he has offensive things instead of destroyed boat things.
that would be ideal.
Snodlers
But-
catch, but
It's destroyed, so I don't know how much fighting we'll find.
in Snodlers' lifestyle, anything that is decrepit will bring only the worst of those around you.
Yeah, I don't know. All I remember is seeing the temple badly damaged and no one was there.
Were you there when it was assaulted, or you came back and it was
I
already in ruin?
I came back. I was out of the temple.
Snodlers would like to roll insight to determine if he's actually lying, if he was there or not.
Secretly, it was Vasin who did it.
I mean, maybe he's a werewolf and doesn't know it.
I think we might have found that out on the boat.
Yeah, I think you know. I don't
50-50?
think Snodlers. Yeah, it's 50-50. I don't think Snodlers would have really a whole lot of reason to think that he wouldn't be giving you all the truth.
But in some respect, it's kind of weird. He's like, I don't know, I was gone, and then I came back. Weird.
Well,
Anyway.
they
Yeah, it'd be like if
they send you out on like training and
No, Snodlers wasn't expecting that. That makes
Wait,
sense.
were you a missionary knocking on people's doors?
not that kind of training. The monastery has 10 students at a time. And we train for 10 years.
What do you do at the end of your training?
If we master the 10 forms, then we get to go and make our own monastery and train others.
oh damn, how far along were you?
Close to the 5th.
Gotcha.
So I was out doing one of the training for the forms, and when I came back, it was destroyed. And when you go out, it's usually for a while.
What do you go out
Sometimes months
to
on
do?
end.
Like, do you go to other
various
monasteries
mental
to train?
training. No, like just practice forms, stay out, learn to survive, and hone your body with the nature, and just be one with yourself. And I came back, and everything was gone, and I wasn't there to help.
Were there bodies left behind? Or was just everyone gone?
Everything was gone, and the monastery was parts destroyed.
But no bodies?
None that I saw. It was very disheartening to see. I searched real quick. In my despair, I just started wandering.
And drinking.
Yes. Drinking my sorrows away.
So Snarlos needs to understand this. The drinking started after the ransacking?
Yes.
So if we fix the ransacking, you stop drinking?
No.
Oh.
It is been said that after we helped one of these noblemen get their money back from the boat that destroyed the monastery, he would help build it again.
But don't you need a master on top of a building? Someone who's mastered the 10 paths?
Well, we're gonna have to try, and I'm gonna have to work with Brother Foal to figure out how to start again.
Snarlos thinks you should master the 10.
I am not done with training. I'd have to go back and continue training with Brother Foal. He was further ahead than I.
How far has he gotten?
I do not know. I just know he was there before me and further ahead than I was. He told me to taught me to start meditating most recently when I met him, and to help me with my training. So now hopefully we find what they did not. There has to be a reason why the Emperor of the Waste would attack the monastery.
That was the ship of the undead, right?
Yeah. They at first I thought it was the Sea Princes because they were wearing the sashes, but when we finally found them and destroyed them, we found that they were a sort of undead raised by Dagon.
Wait. Undead. So Snarlos is wondering if we didn't actually kill your people from the monastery who were turned undead?
No, they had the sashes of the Sea Princes. So it looked like princes that were brought back, or the people must have been manning the Emperor of the Waste.
Snarlos smells foreshadowing.
So they destroyed the building, so they must have been looking for something, and with what we know now that they're trying to bring this Dagon about, I don't know if my monastery was tasked with protecting a piece or information that would lead us to a piece.
Well, if that's the case, then Snarlos thinks that we need to find your people as a very viable priority.
Well, that's why we're going to the monastery, to find what we can find. I don't know what happened to any of the others. I mean, I was gone for a while, so I don't know exactly the day it was attacked. It could have been assaulted when I first left, and then animals drag the bodies away and eat them. I do not know.
How long have you... When was the last time you saw it? How long ago had that been? Like when you found it
It
destroyed.
was a while. I've been wandering Salt Marsh and drinking, not remembering much
So
of time.
Time is a slippery mistress to you.
Yeah.
Time?
That's why I was quite surprised to find Brother Full.
Well.
So all we can do now is just try to rebuild and figure a new method of training, or try to get to the master status and learn more. But we would need time.
Okay, so is that where you guys are headed? Because you're kind of like at the crossroads where if you keep staying on the heading that you're going, you'll be at the Temple of Oman within the next hour, or you can spend another hour and head a little more northeast to Seaton.
I think we should go to Oman.
Yeah.
Snodulus is wondering if we won't be cursed for being in Seaton if they link us to the problem. So Snodulus thinks that maybe Seaton first might be a lower risk analysis.
We're gonna have to go back to Seaton to get.
Snodulus understands, but as the rowboats start coming, and they start saying that some weird people showed up, and then we show up into town, Snodulus thinks that they might think it's us, and then we have to run for our lives. But whatever you want.
It makes sense, but I don't know what we would do in Seaton but hide.
No.
So I think the only thing, it's not till tomorrow that the flags are done anyway, right?
Yeah.
So Snodulus sits down and opens up his book and starts reading it and be like, Snodulus looks forward to escaping from prison.
We can leave you here if it makes you more comfortable. Oh, well, not here, but at that little mile. Pick you up after.
In the ocean with a chromatic orb.
Yeah. That's not what I meant. That's wrong. I meant we'll leave you at the temple. We'll go back to Seaton and come pick you back up at the temple when we're done.
No.
You sure?
I mean, unless someone else wants to buy my scrolls.
I do recall I loaned you 1,500 gold.
Snodulus wasn't aware that was a loan, but certainly, here you are.
No. It's just,
He dumps 1,500 gold on the table.
you better pick that up before Yuri finds you.
I look around for Yuri and hastily open it and put it back into whatever containers I have.
Yuri's still sleeping. Missing breakfast.
He sometimes will smell the gold. You better get it quick.
He must have taken a pretty big bonk on the head. He's still passed out.
I'm surprised he didn't hear it as soon as the first coin hit the table. He wasn't in here.
Alright. I finished picking up my spells for the day. Sorry, that took forever.
It's okay. I'm gonna meditate a little bit before we get to the temple. I'll be in my quarters.
Alright. Make a wisdom check while you're doing that.
Just to save.
Yeah, save, check, whatever. Just roll some wisdom. Alright, cool. We'll get back to that. I like that. Alright, so yeah, like I said, you guys got an hour as the ship kind of starts slowly approaching. Anything else you guys want to do to prepare, or anything before you...
Snodulus is going to read his Ye Secrets of Ye Philosopher's Stone book, which I got session 2 and realized that I haven't opened it yet.
It's perfect time for reading, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got an hour or so, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, what better time to start now?
I think I have a couple books.
I also have the following. Snodulus realized someone here knows Elvish already.
Eglar's just going to make sure his javelins are sharp.
You have,
Snubbers.
you have a book.
Oh, never mind. I already left. Damn it.
I'll begin reading Marius's field guide.
Is that the? Oh yeah, the one about the
Vampire
undead
Coven?
invaders? Gotcha.
Oh, good call.
So we're going into a monastery, right?
Yeah.
Yes, a monastery that was assaulted.
So, do I feel like I should have to look good?
It's destroyed, so I mean it's gonna be up to you.
I think Snodlers would still think that this might be some sort of holy place. He might need to look the part.
Putting on my cape.
Yes, child's tiger PJ cape. So good.
It's fancy.
It's totally fancy.
What potion of resistance do I have? Because you just said a generic one, and I can't find a generic one.
Let's see. Let's do
I think it's a D8.
Right. So, yeah, roll a D10.
Who's rolling? Oh,
Kolos. All right. So you have a potion of thunder resistance.
Cool.
Gains your resistance for 1 hour.
I've got some masturbation ointment.
Ooh.
Does it prevent chafing or does it make it invisible?
It makes it pleasurable.
That requires lotion. I have concerns.
It smells faintly of aloe.
Oh.
All right, so you guys read your books and kind of hang out. Meglar's sitting there sharpening his javelins. You guys hear Yuri like snoring away, like he's had a rough night. But you guys get about a quarter mile off the coast from where the Monastery of Oman is. It sits up on the top of a cliffside, and as you get about, like I said, about a quarter mile out, you see this anchored ship. It's this large sailing ship. It's really sleek looking. It's made of this mixture of like dark mahogany wood, interwoven with planks of this ashen, beautiful white oak. On the front of the ship is a figurehead, a large figurehead of a storm giant clutching a thunderbolt. Two large masts standing about 100 feet high up from the midship deck. The ship is flying the flag of Verstad. It's got the two crossing Hirana trees against the backdrop of a setting sun. When you approach the ship, it's welcoming. You guys hear a voice call out, "Ahoy!" You see a crewman standing on the bow of the ship with a brass horn to his mouth. And, they offer the travelers, "You guys come on aboard," and they're escorted to the ward room, where the captain and the first mate await with food and drinks. They introduce themselves as Captain Karth. He's this Verstad, typical Verstad-looking man. He's sophisticated. He's got this shoulder length, black hair, tan skin, blue eyes. He looks, like I don't know if you guys remember Lord Albrecht, but he looks very similar to him. He wears a silver and navy blue button-up jacket. He looks somewhat regal, and with a matching hat. You can see the hat sitting on a nearby table. And the other officer standing with him in the room is Antorus. He's an elven male. He's got long white hair tied back in a neat ponytail. He's very thin and pale, and he's almost as white as his hair. And his eyes are a really light shade of gray, and he has these white eyebrows, so the guy looks almost like albino. I have a little picture of the ship if you guys want to see some artwork.
Hell yeah.
what was their names again? Sorry.
No, you're good. So Captain Karth is the captain of the Verstad ship, and his first mate is Commander Antorus, not to be confused with Vatorus. I don't know if you guys see that in your journal now, a little bit. What the ship looks like.
What ship is it?
This is the Verstadian ship.
Okay.
It's hard to see the picture, but the front has this, like I said, there's a storm giant on the front and it's kind of like in action. It looks like it's leaping in the air and has this massive thunderbolt in its hand. The ship is definitely probably the most regal looking ship that you guys have seen to date. So the captain welcomes you guys aboard as you enter to his room, and he says, "Oh, welcome, friends, to the Watcher, the finest ship commissioned by Lord Albrecht to be built from the best builders in Carrington." And he kind of speaks to you guys openly, and you guys look over, and he has this beautiful spread of all sorts of cheeses and breads and glasses of wine set up, and you see the elvish man. He's also sitting there. He's kind of pecking away at some sort of biscuit, and he's got a glass of wine in his other hand.
For sure, have some wine and cheese.
Yeah, please help yourselves.
Snarlos is curious. I see all this wine. Do you happen to have
I
drow
just jump
green
straight
wine?
in.
Sorry, what kind of wine?
Drow green wine? Snarlos hasn't had in its ages.
No, we don't have any of that here, but it sounds delightful.
Your moldy milk looks delicious, though, and I take a huge chunk and eat it like I shouldn't.
So they offer you to eat, and you guys see there's a large table there, and he says, "So please sit, and tell me what brings you here. I remember seeing you, the travelers at Verstad. It's my pleasure meeting you all." And he does the cordiality of shaking everybody's hands and yeah. So he says, How do you like my ship? This is the finest ship. This is the maiden voyage. This is the first time the ship has left Verstad. It has only traveled across the sea from Carrington. The Van Zagren Shipwrights Guild are the finest creators of the most elegant, fastest ships in all the realm.
Better than my ship.
Snarlos is impressed. Having not been on the ocean except for on our ship, Snarlos is very impressed.
Well, thank you. You have a ship, sir? And he asks you, Maglar.
Yes, I did.
Tell me about her. She must have been a real beaut, I suppose.
Oh, nothing too special. Just a little sloop.
Oh. Hell, back when I was a boy, I sailed a sloop around. I miss those days, but...
Those are fun times.
This is an actual warship, right?
No, it looks like a sailing ship. It has one ballista on the front of it, but it doesn't necessarily look like it's got a whole lot of armaments on it. But she looks sleek and fast. So, what brings you here?
Coming to visit the monastery.
Oh, the monastery. Well, you've come in just the right time. I do have to say, rebuilding of the monastery has been slow. The workers arrived a couple weeks ago, and I do have to say that they were kind of run off by a large beast. This large creature, winged creature. It apparently has taken nest in the courtyard of the monastery, and we were about to send in an armed crew to investigate, but I guess unfortunately our service may be a little limited. But now that you guys are here, you could help us out with that. My men are more sailors, not warriors.
Well, this once was my home, so I would be more than happy to rid this place of that creature.
Oh, it is a lucky day for us, I suppose.
So, Snarlos is
If
curious.
Oman permits.
Go ahead, Snarlos.
Well, Snarlos is curious. Have you guys found a very large stick that looks magical and ornate? Or maybe little tongs?
Well, so only a few people have come back from the monastery, some of the workers, and as far as I know, they actually didn't make their way into the monastery.
Understood.
They couldn't get in?
No, they were run off by this winged creature, this 3-headed creature. That's all they could describe it as. It scared them so bad it shredded through their camp, and they came flying back to the ship. That's why we're here. So Lord Albrecht sent us out here in order to fix the situation. But honestly, I'm kind of glad that your guys are here.
I am glad Lord Elbrick is keeping his word.
He is definitely a man of his word, a great leader.
Seems
Rebuilding
to be
Verstappen.
very good. You see him, tell him I'm greatly appreciative.
Oh, of course I will.
Well, let us rid this temple of this beast.
So then all of a sudden the elvish man, he kind of like peeks up a little bit. He puts his cheese and bread down, and he looks over and goes, "Well, I must warn you about these beasts. You see, I'm from the elven city of Belshore. It's in the Brymac Wilds. I don't know if you have heard of this or not, but
I've never," and I look over at Hector.
I don't. Is this thing ringing any bells for me? Or
yeah, Hector, you would probably know about it. It is from the continent that you are from, of Cordova.
okay.
And it's like a large, thick forest to the north. It's kind of like it's a massive forest in the middle of the region that you're kind of from.
Okay, cool.
What was the name of the place? Sorry.
It's okay. He's from the elven city of Belshore, and it's in the Brymac Wilds. But that's far to the west. So he tells you, well, I have heard of these beasts. They are kind of found in the wilds. They are called Volim wildcats. They're some sort of abomination of lion and dragon mixture. They're ferocious, territorial creatures.
One sounds it.
They set up lairs in these abandoned buildings and caves. And
It's not always called it.
the only thing they favor besides the taste of flesh is treasure. And let me tell you, I've heard stories of these beasts amassing huge treasure hoards over the course of their long lives.
I didn't think there was treasure in the temple.
I think what he's implying is that it's gathering treasure and putting it there, sort of like a dragon would.
Precisely. These creatures, these beasts have known to rival dragons. Sometimes hunting in packs, they could take down a dragon.
Dragons don't like it when you start encroaching on their territory.
Do not underestimate these creatures. These beasts can fly with its massive wings, and they can breathe fire and attack with razor-sharp claws. And they are the most cunning of predators.
Is it a pack of them, or is it one?
So then the captain says, well, the workers said they only saw one, but there could be a pack. You should probably listen to Commander Antorus. He knows his shit.
Well, Commander Antorus is the elf, correct?
Yeah.
Well, I was just asking because Commander Antorus mentions pack, but it seemed like there was only one.
Well, let's hope there's only one. Do you know anything else of them besides this information you divulged right now?
Well, personally, I haven't ever seen them, but people in my city have seen them before, and it's kind of a well-known creature. But I'm more of an aristocrat of where I am from, and I've been lucky and privileged enough to travel across the sea and take this job responsibility. And unfortunately, I'm not much of an adventurer like yourselves, and I very rarely have seen much action. But that's all I know is just the tales of these great beasts.
Well, it sounds like today might be more interesting than we thought it was going to be.
This is kind of how Snodless thought it was going to go.
I thought it was going to be interesting no matter what. I get to go to my temple and see what was there. What had happened.
Maybe interesting is the wrong word. More action-packed than sort of diving into old.
How far along did construction get before you guys came under attack?
I believe they didn't even get started, correct?
Well, you can look for the encampment. It is just north of the monastery. That's the supplies were brought up by rowboats. They built a camp, and as soon as they started, trying to make their way towards the monastery, this thing attacked.
Well, why didn't you just go up the stairs on the cliff face?
That's the way. You have to get up there. That is the only way up. Is the shore up the steep cliffside.
I remember these steps.
Oh, you remember them? There's 100 of those steps.
They are.
Hopefully, you're in good enough shape to get up there. And he kind of looks over at Meglar a little bit. He would have looked at Yuri, but Yuri's sleeping.
I've brought buckets of water from the ocean up.
Oh, well, our
Not
workers
to use for feeding or anything, just to do it.
Oh, you must be very strong. Our workers, they brought up crates. They brought up several crates of tools, and they were pretty much exhausted by the time they got up there.
It is quite the feat. I hope you all are rested.
Real quick, I almost forgot. I'm gonna put my armor back on.
Okay.
Just as a side note.
Sure, I think you probably would have suited up before you ventured off the ship anyway.
Yeah.
I still have that shield you gave me, Hector. You want that back? I don't need it.
I have a perfectly fine shield.
Okay. I will just pawn that next time I go to a shop.
Yeah, just make sure you don't do it in Saltmarsh. And you can sell it any place other than that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Why not Saltmarsh?
Where I bought it from. I don't want to make the blacksmith feel like we don't want his stuff.
Blah, 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 blah. Stop being such a pussy.
I bonk him on the head. Shut up.
That's the spirit. Get ready for the climb. I'd like to see the motivation and the spirit in you.
All right.
Are we ready to go?
I think so.
Let's do this.
Well,
Yeah,
safe travels. Here, take some food for the road. Yeah.
Thank you, and again, thank you for assisting and help rebuilding my monastery.
Oh, anytime. You have proven yourself to be valuable allies to Verstad.
It's my pleasure.
And he bows, and Antorus bow, and they kind of show you guys the door, and you kind of walk out on the deck, and you see the deck is like super clean, and people are like going about their job. They're like a well-oiled machine, you know. You guys kind of like think that compared to how Bobby the Schlub is running the Sea Ghost, Bobby could get a few pointers from these guys, you know.
Wish we had Argo back.
Yeah.
I just raised my eyebrow at that.
Who?
Argyle, our old first mate. He was very good at running the ship.
Very good.
Could be a captain himself.
Yeah, he had halfway decent instincts when it came to being on the ocean, but
Is Verstad... What's the relationship between Verstad and Seaton?
What's the what?
the relationship between Verstad
Verstad and
and
Seaton.
Seaton.
So Verstad like falls just under the jurisdiction of like the kingdom of Keeland. So like the king is still kind of like resides over everything, is like the law, but being the lord, he just runs his his islands, but there's no like military presence or the king's presence there. But like any attack or aggression towards Verstad would they'd have to answer to the Keeland Empire. So they're allies.
Okay, so they're more like allies than being
Yeah.
like one over the other.
Mostly like trading, because Verstad's like main export is these fruit. You see them all throughout the coast, and that's their number one export. And the people there, like Lord Albrecht, his family had made a ton of money on like the fruit trade and stuff before the Emperor of the Waste. They came and just like destroyed half of their town, and
Got a hold of his papers.
yeah, they took his entitlement and everything, and yeah, then you guys saved the day. So the travelers in Verstad are definitely like definitely you have a good ally in them, and obviously the people of Saltmarsh. But Seaton, I don't know if you guys have really made a name for yourself there. The king maybe thinks you guys are okay, or maybe not as good as the hero society, but
Yeah, fuck those guys.
The only thing I've heard about them is they're pricks.
yeah, it's true.
Basically, that was just like me and Vasin like being jealous of them.
Yep.
We just didn't want to tell you
We're
that.
way better.
Yeah, those guys suck.
Yeah, that's all we got was Hugo, and he sucks, and Voss is just like, they're pricks, ignore them. We're like, oh, it's okay, so they're pricks.
Ugh.
I want to ask the captain for a word.
Sure.
And his captain. The only thing I want to do is I want to give him a rundown, because I don't know how much Verstad and Seaton talk. Give him a rundown of what happened over at the Pirate Island,
Nice.
so that way they know. Because I don't think we didn't mention anything about Verstad. I don't want to do it on the deck in front of everyone. Pretty much just him and maybe the commander if he wants to listen in. But give him a rundown of the breakdown of what they plan on doing and how they're breaking up their battle groups and things like that.
Yeah, cool. So you hang back in their cabin a little bit, and you sit down and talk to them for a minute, and they write the information down, and they say, well, kind of the same thing, like they have to abide to the king's laws, but they don't really report to the king or anything like that. So Verstad
I just want to let them know that I just want the information out there, so if nothing else, they have an idea and they're not going in blind.
Yeah, so they have an idea, and like you tell them the information, but they don't really necessarily have an army or a navy or anything like that. This ship is literally their only ship, other than trade vessels. So when anything this is why they got ransacked by a one ship of marauders.
But at least they know now.
So I guess at least they know to expect that the pirates are amassing a larger organization. But
yeah, and they kind of know where each one is, right? You gave them the details of where each ship
Yep.
is.
I've got, if you want me to read that off, I've got all that written down.
That way they can just sort of avoid them, hopefully.
Okay, yeah. So he does tell you about their trade route. So they do, have ventured down to as far as Liara, but traveling any further west is just too far for them to trade to Carrington or any of the cities in Cordova.
I know one of the battle groups got sent to the Seaton area, so mainly I just wanted to. He needs a warning about that. Let him know there are areas they obviously aren't going to go everywhere, but
Right.
Just to give them a heads up, there is a small, essentially fleet of pirates that are coming to this area if they're not already here.
So he's gracious for all your information, and he just bids you farewell and says hopefully that if you're ever looking for a job, you can come work for him on his ship.
I'll keep that in mind, and I want to ask him where the Zagren Shipwreck Guild is.
So he just tells you it's off the harbor or the dock area of Carrington, in the lower side of Carrington.
Where's Carrington?
It's in Cordova. It's on the other continent.
Other side of the ocean.
Other side of the ocean. Yep.
You just said he doesn't go over there.
They don't.
That's where Hector was from.
They don't trade to there, but they've got the ship there because he lets you know this is like the best place to get ships from.
Dock area of Cordova?
Yeah.
Or wait, is that the continent name?
The Cordova is
Carrington.
Continent. Carrington is the name of the city. Yep. It's like one of the biggest southern cities. Yeah, I mean, you guys would know like the basics of it is just that it's like one of the largest cities that you've heard from like the western continent. It's similar to that of like Seaton, you know. It's more of a coastal city, and you guys, if any people that you have met in your lifetime have talked about Carrington being once it was like a prosperous city, but eventually it slowly started sinking into the sea, and part of the city is actually flooded by the waters, and it's like it was rumored to be built on like a soft ground instead of like bedrock, and the builders didn't have that foresight to build properly, so the city is like ever so sinking. Like every year it gets lower and lower into the sea,
like 6 inches every year, and like 100 years it's not going to exist.
But what you guys know about it is that it was like a major metropolis.
I thank him for the information and just let him know that I just wanted him to get a heads up of what's going on in the area. He might not be able to fight back, but maybe they can avoid him.
Yeah, cool. All right, yeah. So you guys gather up your stuff as you see the other crew get back on the rowboat and head back over to the Sea Ghosts. Anything else you guys want to do before you kind of make the little journey across?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, so the entrance to the Temple of Oman is just as he had said, and just as Vasin remembers, that just to the north of where the monastery is. You guys can see it now. The monastery, it's beautiful, but you can see the damage that it's been done. It looks like ballistas bolts were just like smashed through the walls. There's giant gaping holes in it from where you guys can see, but it sits on top of this cliffside, and it's got these beautiful granite white walls, and it kind of like represents that tranquility and peaceful teachings of Oman, but yet the inside is this simple building, but the only access, like I said, is just to the north. There's this narrow path of steps that kind of leads right down to the sea, and it goes all the way up these 80-foot cliffside. There's about 100 steps, and they're carved into the rocky cliffside that bring you right up to the top of this plateau where the monastery is. So you guys make your way down and dock your rowboats and start heading up to the steps. Vasin's, I'm sure, is leading the way up there.
Yes, I am.
And you guys make your way up the stairs. It doesn't take you too long. Like I said, if Yuri had been there, he would probably have been slowing you guys down a little bit. But the steps, they're fairly wide, and they're a little slick being on the side of the ocean like that. But you guys make your way up to the top, and when you get to the top, there's this simple dirt path, and like I said, when you get to the top, it's all flat, and you can see a couple 100 yards is the monastery up ahead. And you can see the beauty of it, but yet you see like the front of it is kind of like all smashed in. There's a lot of rubble on the ground. But before you get there, about 100 yards ahead, you see the encampment that the Captain Karth was talking about. So you follow the path and you make your way to the encampment, and you see like several small canvas tents, and they're kind of like all set up around a circle around this abandoned fire pit, and there's a makeshift log table nearby. And then from when you guys enter, it looks completely empty, and as though like the workers just left in a hurry. You look at the table, and there's like plates, dinner plates sitting on the table, and a big pot of stew in the center of it. Like off to the sides, you see all sorts of equipment that they were talking about, like the several crates. They have like rope handles on both ends, and they're kind of like all neatly stacked up around the area. So that's what you see as you guys.
I'm walking in and just looking around. What do I hear? Any sounds coming from? I mean, how far away is the temple from this? Do you think I would be able to hear?
So now, by the time you guys get here, the temple is only probably another 100 yards from the camp. So yeah, you could make a perception check to hear, see what you can hear. So as you're up here, like the wind is pretty strong up here on this plateau. Like Vasin, if you had hair, it would definitely be blowing pretty good right now. But on the wind, it seems eerily quiet, and it kind of brings back this peace that you remember from being here before. But you don't hear anything like giant beasts or anything.
I just pull my quarterstaff off my back, and I'm gonna search around the tents for like any signs of the beast, like ransacking through it.
Okay, so yeah, you can start search around. It's gonna take you a little while. We'll get back to you. What is everybody else doing?
I'm just gonna equip my shield and keep an eye out for this monster thing that's apparently stalking the area. I want to make sure we don't get jumped.
Okay.
Meglar's gonna pull out his great sword, pretty much being ready for an attack.
Is there any... want to look around for signs or indication of the attack? Like, are there any bodies, claw marks in the ground?
Yeah, so you and Vasin start walking around and just taking a look at stuff, and surprisingly, you don't see any bodies and you don't see any claw marks around. But you guys do see like a lot of boot prints, and they definitely look heavier as they're heading towards you. Like they were definitely like heavier and like longer strides. You can tell that there was like a good like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 workers that were just like booking it like back towards the steps. But like all the supplies are there. Like there's crates of food, and like I said, there's plates on the table still. There's like a pot of food that was cooked and never even eaten. You guys can like look through some of the tents, and there's like log books and stuff, and like scratch paper and quills and ink, and then nothing has been filled out. Like it's complete work logs. Nothing. It's like the job never even started yet.
It looks like they didn't get anything going. They just it ran them off immediately.
Yeah, showed up, set up camp, and then shit hit the fan. Are you wanting to head down to the monastery? What's the terrain like going to the monastery? Is it like just an open field?
Yeah, it's an open field. It's like it's beautiful, like grassy plateau all the way to the monastery. Off in the distance is probably like a good mile. You can see the trees, just like a forest. But everything up to the monastery is it's just this lush green grass, and it's like blowing. Like the grass is like waist high, and it's blowing really strongly in the wind. But
if we go up to the monastery, I'd suggest everyone keeping low down in the grass.
Keep separated. We don't want to get clumped up.
Well, Snodlers might want to be onto someone heavy.
Snodlers.
Snodlers might blow away.
Snodlers? We're worried about him getting picked up.
Can he even see above the grass? It's like eye level with him.
Probably, yeah. All right, so is that what you guys are gonna do? Just make your way down there, or do you want to? I mean, it's still pretty early in the day, you know.
Yeah, I'd rather not be attacked at night.
Right, that's my case. All right.
It flew up. I can't see it. It's dark.
Yeah, right.
Is Snodler's there?
He hasn't said anything in a minute. I don't know if he forgot he's muted or if he fell asleep.
I just text him.
He shot me a message over Steam. He said, "Let me know if I start breaking up and shit." He said he's on Starlink trying it out as primary internet, but he has it. We just talked about him for a couple minutes and he didn't respond.
That's not like him.
He just said, messaged me on Steam prior. I'm falling asleep in my chair.
No, I'm sorry, I'm so boring. So there's. All right. So yeah, you guys make the 100 yards simply, and it's like I said, it's this beautiful, tranquil area. But as you get closer to the front of the monastery, you see this front entryway. You see the monastery with its beautiful, like, it's a granite exterior and once finely crafted mahogany doors. Now you see the doors off the main entrance are just like splinters of broken wood, and they're kind of sprawled all over the ground. And in the front of the monastery is a, let's say, garden. So you can see that there was like these statues, these great statues that were all erected in front of the building, and they're all just like toppled over, laying in the thick grass.
Can I tell what kind of weapon caused the front of the building to get all messed up, and was it a catapult or was it just people just hacking away?
Yeah, so just as you get closer, Antorus, and you kind of step up to the building, you see a lot of scorch marks, like the beams kind of holding up the door frames and stuff are like burned. Definitely this place was set on fire and just like bludgeoned. You see things are just like smashed from the front from this part of the building, at least from the front, and like the kind of like to the left of you guys of the front door, the main door is where the garden is, and you see these statues look like they were like just smashed with like big blunt objects.
Just like tipped over with a rope and then smashed?
Yeah, just like beat to hell.
Can I tell if the fire was magical or if it was just like a torch? Or is it just too faded?
All you can tell is it's just like this charred wood, and like you see on the white granite, you see all the ash and the soot just kind of like up on the sides of the walls even. So I don't know if you could tell if it's magical fire, but it's definitely everything was just hit with fire.
I'll mention that to everyone, mostly while looking at Vasin and let them know, and I'll question about, would the undead really smash the front of, like, destroy statues and stuff like that?
I'm sure my people would put up a fight, so if they're trying to get in, I would definitely think they would do everything they could. Some fought better than me. Most fought better than me.
Are there any bodies laying around, like any skeletons or anything like that?
All right, go ahead and make a perception check, Taurus.
No.
Yeah, so where you're standing by like the front door, and you kind of like see that the doors are like smashed off, and you can kind of look down into this front entryway that you see. It's a small room. It's probably only like 15 feet square, and there's another set of doors just beyond it. But like in this little room that you're kind of peeking in as you're examining the walls and the fire, you see like these benches that are kind of along the sides of this room, and there's sandals still like lined up, like leather sandals lined up underneath the benches in the front. But yeah, other than that, you don't see any bodies or anything. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm like wandering around the courtyard, like looking around everything. This like saddened look on my face.
Yeah, so make a perception check as you're walking around the remnants of the old Zen garden.
Drinking out of my gourd.
Nice. So Vasin, as you kind of like walk through the thick grass, and you stop to like help like pick up some of these like statues, some of the smaller ones. You can kind of upright. These statues are like well crafted, beautiful, like white marble, and but as you start like picking some of these up, and you kick something on the ground, as you look down and you see there's a body laying there, and you see this body of a monk. He's this young man. He's got this large gash visible across his throat, and his once white robes are all stained with like this thick blood, and he's kind of like reaching up as like a last bit of hope onto one of these statues to pull himself up, but it's where he ended up and perished.
As I have no way of identifying him, would I remember who this one person was?
Yeah, I'd say you'd remember that this particular monk, his name is Leon, and he was young. He was just beginning his training, and he kind of had a lot of the shit duties that the masters would give him, is like cleaning up the garden and pruning the plants and the hedges that were in there. As you kind of like sit there and you're like kind of remember like a few memories that you might have had of him, and think like, man, this like his life was definitely cut way too short. And you kind of sit there. And you also notice at this moment, as you're thinking about back at the garden itself and the monastery, and you realize that the just north of you, like on the other side of this garden, there used to be a door that would lead to the courtyard. And you kind of look, and the door is completely like blocked off, like rubble has kind of crushed over everything, and there's like a big pile of stone there that there's no entry into the courtyard.
Is there any way I could climb on it and look in?
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check. So the rubble is pretty high. It's probably almost like a good like 10 feet of rubble, as like part of the wall above that is collapsed. But you're nimble enough where you kind of like climb up on a few spots, and you can kind of peek in. And when you look over the top of the broken wall, you can kind of like stand up just enough to see the tops of the tree. There's a great tree in the center of the courtyard. It's this giant maple with these orange, like vibrant orange leaves, and that just brings a little bit of joy to your heart that the tree is still there and it hasn't been burned down.
Oh, the sacred tree.
Still
stands.
What's so sacred about it?
You'll see when you see it. You will not see many like it.
What about... No, go ahead.
I'm going to just start wandering, looking for another way in.
All right, so from where you're standing, you do recall that there is to the western part of this this front garden area, there is a small door where there was a storeroom off of this off the garden, but you do recall that there wasn't any other access into the garden or into the courtyard or anything. So the only other entrance that you know of was the main entrance, and then there was a back door entrance that was on the far other side of the monastery that led into the study.
We're not able to access that other side, right?
You could like walk around. So like when you guys are standing in front of the monastery, and to your right is the cliff side, and that side is not accessible. But to the left, if you walk around the monastery, like along the plateau, you could walk around the whole monastery and make your way to the back door. Antorus is to your right. He's standing off to the cliff side where the main door is.
After I look up the thing and like notice the tree is still there, I start making my way around the other way while everyone else is doing what they're doing.
Yeah, what do the rest of you guys want to do?
I'm just following Vasin's lead on this one because I figure he knows what's up, and I really don't. So just keep an eye out for danger and following behind him.
All right.
See if he needs any help with stuff.
Kolos is looking around. I'm keeping an eye out in the sky just to make sure we're not swooped down upon. And while I'm doing that, I'm also like making mental notes at how extravagant, if you will, and like elegant this building was, and how they built their temple compared to just the stone temple back home for Procan.
Nice.
Snodulus is going to summon his owl and have it start looking around and begin casting detect magic as a ritual.
All right, cool.
Baglar's just gonna follow and have his great sword ready in case there's any attackers.
This is where we're currently at right now.
Yeah, so right now, Vitoris, you are near this little entryway room.
And is there any sort of opening?
Yeah,
anything like that?
the doors are ripped off the hinges right where you're standing, but there's another set of doors just beyond this little entry room. And the doors are open on this side, so you can kind of get a good look at now like what's going on inside the monastery. Vasin's in the garden, this area here.
Was this the wall I looked over?
So the wall you looked over is right here. And
Okay, this one?
Yep, so off in the distance... in the center of this monastery, you can see the tops of this tree, this big orange tree.
Okay. And then after I saw that, I started walking because I know that there's another way around the back to maybe get what the library you said?
Yeah.
Or the study?
The study library. Yep, same thing. It's all the way on the opposite side is what you recall of the monastery.
Now there's some books this way. And as I'm going, I'm like thinking about books. I'm like, oh, I actually have something you might find of interest.
Is it more about your people?
It's a book.
What book?
Erotic poetry book.
Ooh, Snodulus has never actually seen Sunwalker eroticism.
Well, I have one here for you. And also this encyclopedia of Eus? I don't even know how to pronounce that.
I have no idea. I was looking.
What is that? I don't even remember. There's something you found in the mansion, right?
Yeah, it's like Treaty of Eus or something like that.
Yeah, EEZ.
Can you
Isis or whatever. It's sort of like a Greyhawk demigod or something.
Can you put it in the chat so I can actually copy it over?
I would like to summon my owl, look through its eyes, and send it into the building through the front door.
I'm like handing Snodlers these two books.
All right, so yeah, Vitoris, you start sending the owl in there, and your owl flies into this first main prayer room, this worship room. It's this large vaulted ceiling. It's probably, let me see the size. It's probably about like 100 feet long, and it's got a good 60-foot high ceiling in there. There's like these big stone pillars that kind of like follow the 100-foot all the way back to this big stone dais at the other end, and the owl flies over and it sees all sorts of like small benches, not necessarily like pews, but like similar to that, but they're like really low to the ground, these really short benches, and a lot of them are just like tipped over and smashed. The owl also sees, as he kind of flies around in this room, there's where the stone dais is at the other end, is these three large stone boxes with these big stone lids on them, and all the lids on these things are kind of like pushed off the side, and they're kind of ajar. And that's what the owl sees. And you see, like, he also like tells you the whereabouts. That there's a couple doors that lead off to the sides of this particular large room.
Those big stone things, they look like sarcophaguses. Like they
Um,
held bodies.
Similar, but they actually look larger than sarcophagi.
Alright. Are the doors open or are they closed?
The doors are all open. Like some of them are smashed. There's like probably a good 3 doors that like lead off from the main room here, and yeah, like the owl also like through his eyes you're seeing all sorts of like disrepair. Like there's like giant holes in the wall and just like bricks everywhere and like splinters of wood. Like I said, all these small benches are just like shattered. It's definitely like you can tell that these marauders came through and just like smashed the crap out of everything.
He doesn't see any large nests or anything like that.
No, you don't see any hostiles. The owl does show you to the northeast part of it. There's a whole section of wall that are completely missing, and it just steps right out over the cliffside. It would definitely be watch your step when you're going in there.
I'll relay that to Kolos, I guess, because he's the only one near me. Let him know there's nothing in the main worship area. I don't see any nests or anything like that. There's a door open in the back. How far away is that door from me currently?
So yeah, there's
It's only
probably
100 feet.
Yeah, so the room is like 100 feet, but the doors, there's probably a door that's like 20 feet in, and then another one that's about a good like 60 feet in, and there's like another little side door that's probably almost all the way back to the end of the chamber.
I'll bring the owl back and have him just land on my shoulder, stop looking through his eyes, and walk over the way and relay what I said with my owl, that there's no nest, there's nothing, there's doors, they're all smashed. There were some big stone boxes, and it looks like the tops were ripped off. Everything else, ask him if he knows what was in them.
Way over around the building.
Yeah, so Vasin kind of like I'm going to talk for you at this point, Vasin. So like when Vittoris asked you like what was in those boxes, you do have an idea of what was in the boxes. You do know that this was like the worship room where you guys would like have meetings, and like the masters
Roboting. At least to me, you're cutting it.
Nah, you're all right for me.
Oh, okay.
Same.
Well, it's just everyone's doing it for me.
You're roboting.
You're a robot.
Not me. All right. So anyway, so these boxes, these are. Oh, so this room is like this massive room where like teachings and training was being held, and more so like the spoken word, like gatherings of the monks and the Brotherhood would just like talk about things, and you would like learn the history of Oman. But these boxes that were kind of like up in the end of the room were all contained important artifacts of the Brotherhood of Oman. They were the belongings of the original 3 monks of Oman, one being Zindaka, the other one being Hewa, and Mamaru. So the items that were in these things were their like personal belongings, which included these 3 sets of like this yoroi, which is like this like samurai armor, and they all had their legendary. These guys had these legendary magical katanas, and hundreds of years ago, though, these boxes were sealed after the Brotherhood of Oman defeated a group of storm giants who approached from the Azure, and they wished to enslave the people of the region. It was up to the Brotherhood to kind of protect the citizens of this area. But after the battle was won, the monks decided to lock away these weapons and armor and vowed to only use them if the giants were to ever return. So yeah, Vasin told you all that.
Well, it looks like all of that was taken.
They were empty?
The lids were off, and there was nothing in them.
So Snodlos thinks that we have to worry about giants now?
Or a very powerful weapon? In
I
armor?
think it was weapons and armor for humans, right?
Yeah, they were the monks, the masters, the original masters, special armor and magic weapons.
No, Snodderless understands that, but they were only supposed to be removed if there were giants. So now there's giants, right?
Well, they were rated, so like
Oh, Snodderless gets it now.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll, like I said, I'll let all them know that what's going on, and I'll follow Vasin because he knows this place better than I do. But I'll keep an eye out for any openings, like if there's a busted out window that I think my owl can fly through, I'll send him in to scout, if at all possible.
Yeah, so like as you guys are kind of like walking around the side of the building, there's like large sections of the building that are completely destroyed. Again, it looks like battering rams or something were just smashing through the walls. And like Vitoris, you see these same like scorch marks, these ash kind of like all over these beautiful white walls. You guys, like as you start making your way around the building, you do see like this particular room here, Vasin, which you remember is like the training room. As you can kind of look in and see that the wall is completely missing. So like you could access the monastery through this room if you wanted to.
Yeah. I'm gonna go in and see what's left of the training room.
Can I roll Arcana to determine if I can tell if these scorch marks are from spells or have any sign of spell?
Yeah, so Vitoris did the same sort of thing. You guys, you look at it and you can't really tell what kind of blast they are. It just looks like fire. So
Got it. You'll have to excuse me. I actually did fall asleep from a sugar crash, and I'm trying to fix that with an energy drink. So I'm like half here, and I'm trying to fix that.
And by the way, like your detect magic, nothing is being picked up as of right now.
I figured. Thank you.
So far, this place seems eerily quiet, other than you've seen the one body so far. But as you guys kind of all start entering in this smashed wall and like step over all the bricks and timbers that are destroyed, you walk into the training room. This is a large room, and it definitely shows the evidence of a battle was fought here. There was like several large wooden tables that were overturned on their sides in like a defensive stance, and there's like arrows kind of stuck all over the tops of the tables. And you see a monk. He's like slumped over the table's edge, and he's got 2 arrows stuck out of his back, and his fingertips are almost like touching the ground. And just out of his reach, you see a broken staff with a gourd attached to it, and it's lying on the floor. Just you could tell like he was reaching out with his last bit of life before he was cut down. But you see also like burnt training dummies and destroyed weapon racks kind of lay on the floor, and you see a whole bunch of different monk weapons that are still intact. Just beyond that, in the corner, you see a second monk. He's slumped against the corner of the room. His left arm is kind of draped across his body, and his hand is clutching a massive puncture wound on his side. Again, these guys are both in these robes that were similar to what Vasin wears, and you see all around their necks they have these the pendants with the double dragon on them.
Can I look at the body and try and determine like how long ago they were killed?
Yeah, so go ahead and make a medicine check.
Snodderless is going to turn to Vasin and be like, Snodderless doesn't think that you actually looked very hard in here to find your people.
rough.
I look.
No.
Yeah, so Vitoris, like you look at these bodies, and you might not be able to tell a specific time, but they're not skeletal, so
Kind of like dried out.
yeah, they look like they've been here for a little bit, but
Any evidence of? Well, it doesn't seem like it. But there's no evidence of like animals, like wolves or scavengers coming in here.
no, and the like the remains of the bodies, like I said, you can see the one guy here has like a spear sort of weapon striking him, and the other guy's got like a back full of arrows. But as you kind of like look around and you check these monks in the center of the room, you also kind of like you guys see this large bearded man laying there. His flesh, though, is decayed, and there's like barnacles like growing out of his forehead, and sticking out of his right eye, though, is a like splintered piece of wood. It's the end of the broken staff of the monk that was reaching for that was slumped over the table. This guy, he's dressed in leather armor. He's got a red bandana tied around his neck.
Oh, these must have been some of the invaders.
He's barnacled, though, like he came from the undead ship.
Emperors of the Waste.
That's a pretty good deduction. So yeah, this room looks like it might have been like one of the monks' last stand, defense against the invaders.
What kind of weapons are laying around? Is it like monk staves and?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. So you guys can like look at these weapons that are kind of like laying all over the floor. They include 2 wakizashis. I don't know how you call them, but I had to look that up. Yep. So they're like Japanese short swords. They look like little katanas. Mm-hmm. So they use a short sword stat if you guys want to pick them up anyway. There's a steel whip, which is mechanic wise, it uses the whip stat, but it does a d6 damage instead of a d4.
Damn.
There's a 3-section quarter staff. I don't know if you've seen those. They're like a staff. There's like little pieces of chain that like that connect to each piece of it, so you can kind of like conceal a staff and then like pick it out and like you hold the center. I don't know. It's like a whole like ninja thing.
It's like nunchucks on crack.
Yeah.
I'll pick up the whip.
I'll ask Vasin if he's okay with us picking these weapons up for the crew to use.
For the crew to use, like
these are.
I just gave them like brand new weapons.
Monk
ago.
Weapons. My monastery may need them after it's rebuilt.
Then I will not touch anything.
So also on the floor you find 2 sais, and then they use the dagger stat block, but you add a +1 to your AC for dual wielding sais.
Nice.
And you also find two nunchucks. They use club stats, but you add the finesse trait to the stat blocks.
I suppose if one of you needed these, I guess you could honor the fallen monks by taking them and defending me, I guess, with those.
Bodyguards?
Well, I mean, you're friends, but I mean, it would honor them that you're using them in, good.
How big
I
are
guess?
the size?
You don't know what a sai is?
I know what it is. I just don't know how big they are. I don't think I've ever. I know what they are. I don't think I've ever actually seen like the actual size of one.
Oh, they're probably larger than a dagger. They're probably like about a foot long.
Like almost like a little bit shorter than a short sword.
Yeah, they're shorter than a short sword, but longer than a dagger.
Yeah, like the middle prong is long, and then it's got like 2 side ones that come out that are like points.
Oh man, Raphael, you've never seen ninja shows?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have.
And
that
was those are size.
That's why like monks training with like sais, they could use them like defensively pretty well. They master the technique of using them to block attacks, and then they do
disarm the opponent.
Disarm your opponent, and they do like a minimal damage, but they're definitely like a cool defensive weapon more so than a damaging thing. And they can be thrown. So
I'm gonna pick the whip up.
I'll take the size and tell Vasin, then I'll use them in honor of your fallen brothers.
And then
I get what if +1 AC if I dual wield them?
Yep.
Or what'd you say about the size?
Yeah, but with the size, like being that these
It's
are like
chat.
monk weapons, yeah, I put it in the chat. But you're gonna have to kind of have a little bit of training with them in order to gain the benefit of that.
Gotcha.
Because they're monk weapons.
I'll
Got it.
take them for now.
So
Too bad I
now, how does that work with the whip? What's it classified as? Is
Whip
it just
is-
gonna say it's a fucking...
It's an actual weapon in D&D Beyond.
No, I get that. Is it like a simple weapon?
Well, I'm classifying these all as as monk weapons, but they're all
That's what I was curious.
also. I don't know if they're considered martial weapons. Whatever the whip is considered.
Whip is considered a martial melee weapon.
Yeah,
But it has a 10-foot range, or is it still just 5?
it has 10 because it has reach. I think.
Yeah, it's got...
Finesse and reach.
That's what I was wondering, like, how would I be able to...
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, you're saying it's a monk weapon as a DM perspective, so, I mean, it would be a monk weapon.
yeah, and I thought I checked to make sure that they all have the finesse stat, but if they don't, all of them as monk weapons, they have the finesse stat. That's why I wanted to add that in there, so you could use your dex versus just like straight strength.
The whip does have the finesse stat.
Yeah, I checked.
But,
I checked the whip, and then, like I said, the club doesn't, because I figured the nunchucks are kind of like a club. But so that's why I wanted. I haven't made anything in D&D Beyond yet for them or in Roll20. I didn't know if you guys were gonna pick them up. If I was gonna waste time.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you want, make the things for them at whenever.
Yeah, cool. So you took the steel whip, and then Taurus took the size.
I'll have to get training from Vasin later.
Oh yeah.
You know how to use these, Vasin?
I know how to use all these.
Alright.
We were trained in all of these weapons. And without weapons.
I've seen you without weapons.
I'm going to take out the Rod of Finding and expend one of its charges and say, Seek.
All right. What's the range on that? I can't remember.
60 feet.
Oh, perfect. Exactly 60 feet. So as you kind of like hold it out, and as soon as you hold it out, it starts vibrating in your hand a little bit, and it's somewhat faint, but there's definitely something around here.
Start spinning slowly in circles to see which way it's vibrating the most.
Yep. So as you start doing that, you start realizing that it feels like it vibrates more when you kind of raise it up above your head.
I slowly look up and like pointing it up above me. It's like a big ceiling, right?
Yep. Yeah. There's
This is like another floor, right?
There's several like holes in the ceiling. Nothing majorly large, like where you guys are standing, but you do see a little bit of spots where there's small bits of light coming through. But yeah, the whole place has got a ceiling. But you do recall that the courtyard is an open air courtyard. There's no ceiling in the courtyard.
Antorus, I point at him and then point up to the hole.
I will look through my owl's eyes and send them up through the hole.
Yeah. So you use your owl. How big is your owl? Because the hole like is not really like. I don't know if it's even big enough to fit an owl up there.
Oh,
It goes on the roof?
Holes?
Yeah, there's like holes in the roof. Like I don't even know if they're like baseball size, but they're like large enough for like beams of light to come through. But I don't know if an owl will be able to squeeze it through there. Maybe a mouse or something. But
is it another room or is it the roof?
The roof.
Oh, then I'll just. Are these windows?
But yeah, those are windows, and then there is doorways where you guys are standing. There's several doors that lead out, and where you guys are standing, you can tell that those doors, as you kind of pass by, lead out into the courtyard.
There's something on the roof.
I'll send my owl out through where we came in and up on the roof. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it's 100-foot range.
Prepare yourselves.
Pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I mean,
within 100 feet of me.
Well, so about 60 feet from you, is your owl kind of flies up towards the roof. On the opposite side of the roof, kind of like across from you guys, you see your owl like turns its head to see this massive beast, and it looks like as it detects the owl, you see its head heads snap around. It's got these 3 heads.
Come back, come back, come back, come back.
And all of a sudden, from where you guys are at, you hear this guttural, this growl, and you hear on the roof poof, poof. And then
Did you see what it was, Vatoris?
It's a giant flying creature.
Snartler's owl doesn't make that sound.
That wasn't my owl.
Oh.
Does he get back?
You're out, yeah. So he flies back in there, and it took off before the owl took off as this thing also was trying to rush towards it, and then that's as far as you know what happened to it.
He's awake on the roof. He wasn't asleep. He knows something is here. I don't know if he knows we're here. He knows something was flying around in here, or around the monastery. So keep an eye. Did I get dimensions on how big this creature was?
It's definitely a pretty large creature. It's probably what you saw was definitely was the looks similar to the size of a large cat, like a lion or a tiger, but maybe even larger, like a dire lion if there was such a thing, I guess.
There might be in D&D.
Yeah.
I'll give them those, but I don't think it can stick its head through holes in the roof to try and peck at us, right?
Right, yeah, the holes
not
in the
that
roof are too small. I mean, it would probably be better off trying to smash through the roof and get to you, but as it you heard a couple footsteps as this thing smashed across the roof, and then it just stopped, and all of a sudden you guys are just stopping for a second, and it's just quiet.
Oh,
I look and point up. I mean, we heard it stomping around, right?
Yeah.
And then once the owl gets back, I'll let them know what he saw, give them the rough dimensions. Dire lion. Don't think it can its beak. It's not a humongous creature that's going to poke its beak through the ceiling or anything like that. Can't promise about it smashing through a hole, but if it does, then at least we don't have to worry about it flying around. But
you said the tree's in the courtyard, right? Or is it in the back?
The tree's in the courtyard.
I don't want it to damage the tree.
That's fair. You think we can lure it out front?
I don't know. We could try.
We can set a fire in the camp back there, put the stew back over the fire, let it heat up, and then just wait in the tents for it to come back.
I think if we just walk out into the open, it'll come down. And
All that too.
I mean, we could get to the camp and do a fight there. That is a good idea, but I don't know if we'll make it.
The issue is it's at least a few hundred yards across flat terrain with just tall grass.
Yep, it's 100 yards back to the camp, and then another 100 yards back to the stairs. And it's all it's all flat, open area, so doesn't provide a lot of cover.
We might need to fight here. Stay in cover.
We can stay away from the courtyard.
Why wouldn't we fight in the courtyard?
Because we don't want to damage.
Breathes fire.
Trying to not damage everything we come across.
Sorry, that seems very foreign to Snodlers.
The sacred tree is out there, and it does not. I do not want it destroyed.
No fire on sacred trees, and keep the monastery intact as possible. So,
when they mention the sacred tree, can I kind of jump up and look through this window and get a peek in?
Yeah.
Is that a window?
Yeah, and as you get a little bit closer, you do start feeling this magical presence kind of emanating from the tree.
So I see that there is actually a tree.
Oh yeah, you see this 60-foot high, beautiful maple tree. Its branches are just full of these orange, bright orange leaves.
Snodlers understands. So who's going to run out and lure it so we can all attack from safety of in here?
I will do it.
It likes little things as I look at Snodlers.
I go out.
As you walk past me,
Take a big swig of my gourd.
As you walk past me, I cast enhance ability on you.
I'll pull out crossbow bolts or crossbows.
Thank you for the tree. And you also, we see numbers. I don't know if that was intentional.
Yeah. So that is that. You guys see all the numbers?
10,
9, and 10.
Oh, I just never put them to the map layer.
Yep. I'm just all right. So we're gonna investigate this one right here later.
So just 7 temporary hit points is all that does?
I clicked on the wrong one. That was the 3rd level. You get I'm just doing it 2nd level. So you get 6 temporary hit points.
Nice.
And some other stuff too. You get hold on.
As soon as I come out here, I just yell, "Come out, you foul beast!"
Yeah. So you make your way out into the courtyard, and as soon as you step out there, first thing you see is.
Oh, I don't want to go in the courtyard. I'm going to go out front where we were. Because I heard it on the roof of the side we're on.
Oh, you're going out towards the outside of the.
The front of the mountain. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to avoid any damage to the tree.
All right, so you fly out or you walk out to the front where the old garden was, the Zen garden, and you yell out, and all of a sudden you hear the flapping of these wings, and all of a sudden you kind of look up, and at the top of the wall, the edge of the courtyard, just above like where you were kind of like peeking through the cracks to see the tree before when you went in there, you hear this large thud on top of this wall, and like debris and like bricks just start like crumbling down the side into the garden. And when that happens, all of a sudden you see these 3 large heads peer over the wall simultaneously. Like it's a lion's head, a dragon's head, and a goat's head. And the heads all are connected to this large, monstrous body of fur and muscle. Like I said, it looks like this giant, lion.
Chimera.
And the beast leaps into the air, and you see this giant red scaled wings, Vasin, and they're like full spread as it just jumps and leaps off of the wall towards your direction. As it takes flight, and it just crashes, like right.
Yell at it, "Be gone from my monastery!"
And it crashes just in front of you.
Just standing there, holding my ground.
And as it lands, we will roll for initiative. But wait till I put the thing up. Okay.
Snodlers doesn't poop his pants.
Today's a good 15 day.
Today's a good day to die.
It is a good day to die.
My initiative's not working still.
That was from Yuri. Someone's probably gonna die today.
Yeah, I'm gonna die.
So is this creature like a dragon that has a lion's head and a dragon's head and a goat's head?
Oh yeah.
It's a chimera. But yes.
And what could I see if I can tell what kind of creature this is? Like I have a spell for like aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. Is this like an aberration or would I even know?
What you can do that as a bonus action on your turn.
Yeah.
Boo.
Damn, busted.
Vasin's the first one out there to act as he draws this creature out, and it just slams into the wall, knocks like a bunch of debris off, and it just roars, and it just crashes on the ground in front of him.
Would I be able to use my free action to tell it, "It's your last chance to leave"?
You sure can, and it just growls back at you. You see a little bit of flame start like flaming up inside the dragon's mouth.
It is very apparent part dragon, right?
Yeah. It's mostly looks like it's like a giant lion with a dragon wings and a dragon head.
It's just got a ram's head, and that's it.
You just hear me scream and then run at it. Wah!
Yeah.
We'll run and fucking
Charge.
do like a jump attack with the quarterstaff at the beast.
That's what I'm talking about.
15.
15 hits.
For a two-handed slam to the face. For 7. 6. What the fuck? 6.
And you run up fearless and just slam the quarterstaff into it. You hit it right in like the lion's like snout, and it just.
And then I swing again. This time I'll like wrap it around and hit it with a one-handed attack. And I miss. Fuck.
Oh, make a dexterity saving throw. Oh, nice.
Aww.
Come on.
Missing
I'm very dexterous. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be a
And then,
strength save next time.
Yeah, next time.
I roll around and use a key point for patient defense.
All right.
What does that do?
Gives me a bonus action to take the dodge action.
Oh.
That's it.
Like for the rest of the fight?
For the
No.
Until my
his turn again.
Permanent dodge. That's not overpowered at all.
Permanent dodge.
I hone my skill and meditate my body to where I permanently get dodge. Next will be permanent evasion.
Ooh.
That's my turn.
Okay, Kolos.
Alright, I'm going to run up to right next to Vasin. And I'm going to swing at this thing with the longsword.
All right.
Jesus.
Jeez, nice. Excuse me. Yes,
I'm assuming 24 would hit.
yes, 24 definitely hits.
Alright, I'm going to swing again.
Okay.
Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Smite his ass!
I was just thinking, on that one, I'm going to do a Divine Smite at the second level.
I kind of wanted to go. Like, goddamn.
Wow.
So, sorry. For an extra 19
Jesus.
points.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Oh,
And
That
ends
doesn't
my
get the
turn.
crit.
I forgot what we established for that, but I'm
Did
just
we,
happy with the 19.
it
we
doesn't.
do smite crits?
Yeah, smite should crit, but it's you're not gonna get like max damage like from perfect crits like we do for the weapons, but should double the amount of dice you get, so it should be like 6.
Is that what we do with sneak attack?
Yeah, you double
we
the
double,
the
we
sneak
double
attack.
sneak
dice.
attack.
Okay, well, I'll roll 3 more. For another 16.
Regardless, you run over to this thing and you just start slashing, and you like cut deep into the to the lion's throat, and you just see like blood spewing out of it, and it's definitely really hurt.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Goddamn.
All right, Megler.
Is this an exit here?
Yep, it's a giant hole in the wall.
Okay. Let's see, buddy. Actually, before I move, I'm gonna rage
Nice.
Okay.
so I can get. There you are. Okay. Alright, is this a spot here, or is that just the wall?
Where? Oh, like
Where?
yeah, that's a wall. Yeah, you could. Let me see. Where is that? Yeah, I don't know if you'd be able to stand. Well, yeah, you could probably stand in that space around the wall, but I don't know if you'd really have much of an angle to hit it at that point. Because yeah, you'd probably have to walk around the wall. Because I think Kolos is like taking up most of that space. So you'd have to like go on this side of Vasin.
Okay. So that's 35. So yeah, that was my speed, by the way.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll just throw a javelin at him.
Why wouldn't you?
What else would you do?
I wanted to use my greatsword.
Said you'll have to use your great javelin.
Oh, there'll be maybe next turn, but we are in for some fun here.
Alright, with a 17.
Nice, it definitely hits.
Alright, for 6 piercing.
And 2 rage.
And I am going to throw another. Wait, rage doesn't count, does it?
Technically, it's only on melee attacks.
Yeah, it's a ranged attack.
Alright, yeah.
Okay,
But
well,
but you're still raging because you're attacking.
Right.
Yeah. Alright, with a 15.
Yep, that hits too.
Oh, Hector, what was that thing you put on me? What did that do, by the way?
It just gives you temporary hit points and gives you advantage on Constitution checks.
Okay.
Alright, that's my move.
Alright. Snothers.
Is the Taurus sitting at a window? Is that what this was?
No, he's just chilling by the wall.
So I'm going to take a step forward and look around. How bad is this thing looking?
It looks pretty hurt after like Kolos like slashed into the lion's throat. It's definitely staggering.
I'm trying to wonder if I want to be cheeky or not. All right. Yeah, let's just do a chromatic orb. Yay.
Nice. Yes. What kind of damage are you doing?
That was thunder.
Thunder damage.
And then I'm going to like dodge back behind this thing and like sit right behind him and be like, the Taurus, I'd be careful. And that's my turn.
Okay, Vitoris.
How tall is this wall that I'm standing at?
It's like 40 feet.
No.
Yeah, this is like a massive walls. There's like chunks missing out near the top, but yeah, it's a pretty big wall.
Yeah, I'll go out to there. Try and take a shot.
Uh-oh.
I think from now on I'm going to try and get behind the shit-talking barbarian every single time. 21 to hit.
Ooh, yeah, 21 hits.
For 16 points of damage.
Nice. As you hit this thing, like the what do you call them? Like the ram gets like hit right in the like the jaw with a crossbow bolt, and you see it like kind of pierce through its jaw into its mouth.
Fuck you! Ah!
But it's still alive. He's definitely like getting his ass kicked.
I'll do a bonus action dash, and then get up to there.
Okay.
Try and hit it from behind, so hopefully if I miss, I'm not whacking people in the back of the dome. That's it for my turn.
Okay, Hector.
Nice. Move out to here. I'm just gonna hit it with a guiding bolt. For 15 radiant damage.
Yep, that definitely hits. It's blasted into this thing, and it starts stumbling back, and it's looking like it's about to die. It's still alive, though.
And then I run back to right where I was. Oh, and I want to do that bonus action, see if I can determine what type of creature this thing is.
Yeah, do it. Go ahead and cast that.
Literally, like, nodding to Hector, I'm like, Sonalus agrees. Hide.
We're just hanging out in cover. What do I want to roll for that?
So let's see. Determining what kind of creature it would be. I'd say that's probably an Arcana check.
Oh, Arcana, cool.
It's like a mystical sort of creature.
It was created by a god.
And so you do recall a little bit of hearing about a little bit about these themselves, being that you're from that same continent, and these are just monstrosities, and you know them to be these evil monstrosities.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, so its turn. You can see it like starting to like drop its head down, and it like starts like walking backwards as it least the dragon starts like opening its mouth, and it unleashes its breath attack on Vasin and Kolos. As Meglar's kind of a little bit far enough around the corner, I would assume, that not to get in the cone of fire. So you guys just gotta make some deck saving throws.
You shut your mouth, Snodlers.
Does Kolos have that AoE?
Yeah, I always have it. So we both get +4.
+4?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Protection aura.
4 though? Is it
Yep.
based on like charisma or something?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
It's
So high charisma.
Apparently.
but it's only a 10-foot radius, so it's like
Yeah, but 4 is a lot. Like usually paladins don't actually have pump their spell stat.
Dude, I almost blessed everybody too, but I decided a guiding bolt instead.
All right, so you guys only take 15 fire damage.
I will be using evasion to take 0.
Beautiful.
Cheater.
All right, so it blasts this fire. Let's see if he can recharge his breath weapon. Not that it matters. So he does that, and then he just claws at you. He takes 2 claw attacks. One at Kolos and one at Vasin. So this first one at Kolos with a 21 to hit.
That hits.
For 16 slashing. So as it tries to rake across your chest and catches you off guard as you evade the fire blast from the dragon's head. The lion tries to claw at you, Vasin, with a 26 to hit.
Whew, that hits by a little bit.
For 12.
Wait, I have
You
dodge.
have dodge, so it's a 17 to hit.
That is exactly my class.
Oh,
Still,
so for 12 slashing damage, as it claws, and then all of a sudden you just see the goat head. It's got the crossbow bolt in its mouth, and it just starts like calling out. You hear it makes this like really like strange, this call that it makes. And
it's making a death throw.
and it starts to fly. It attempts to fly out of your range and take off above you guys. So, go ahead and make some opportunity attacks there, Kolos and Vasin, as it just tries to like launch itself up out of the air or up into the air.
Fucker.
So Vasin, as you're kind of caught off guard and singed by a little bit of the fire and tried to deflect this claw, you miss, but Kolos, you just kind of reach up in a last little bit of effort, and you just catch this thing's leg as you just see the blood pour down as it's like flying away, limping, looking defeated, but it's barely alive. But at this point, it does manage to get about... He's 60 feet in the air. I don't know what a good token. Flying. Yeah, you got some wings.
Nice.
All right, so go ahead, Vasin. So Vasin, as you do that, all of a sudden, like you hear this noise from the courtyard. You hear a second. And then this similar sort of goat like I don't know, what do you call it, like a goat bleeding noise? 'Cause that's a term for a goat, right?
Yeah.
And you see this massive, even larger creature kind of spring up from the tree, and you see these orange leaves go just flying up in the air as a second Shimmer, the mate of the one that you almost killed, flies up in the air, and it's probably makes it about almost up into your range. It's about 60 feet in the air.
I'm going to jump over here and throw a dart. Poof. Disadvantage.
18 hits. So you throw a dart up at so you did at the damaged one?
Yeah.
Okay. Where?
Ha! For 5!
So as you throw it, this little dart comes flying up in the air, and you hit this thing like right in the throat, and you hear it go, and it just starts spiraling out of the air.
I look at Maglar, give him a
Literally
thumbs up.
it had like 2 hit points left. You just sniped it, and it just smashes into the ground, and like this big dust cloud goes out. And as you do that, you hear the other one, the mate, just like.
Shit.
I think you just pissed its mate off.
Snarlers would like to look to Hector and say, "That sounded good and yet bad."
Yeah.
I'm going to use my bonus action, spend a key point. Oh, no. I hit with an attack, didn't I?
Yes.
Oh, no, that's Flurry of Blows. So, I noticed this thing is probably most likely quite pissed at the guy that threw a dart.
Yeah, it's like
in this thing's
beelining
neck.
towards you. You see these massive wings flapping, and you can hear the sound of the power of this thing coming towards you.
Dart in your neck, I take off. Wah!
It was Antorus.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm over here. How much do I got? I get right there. 45 feet of movement.
Friggin' dirt in your neck.
I book underneath. And that is... Actually, I did hit, so I can use my key point to also use patient defense.
All right. Roll.
As a bonus action. I didn't use a bonus action yet, right?
No.
All right, yeah. Then bonus action, patient defense again.
All right. That ultimate dodge. Go ahead, Kolos.
I'm going to use my command on it.
All right. Let's see.
I'm going to try to have it grovel. So basically, it would just pass its turn.
Okay. So as you cast this, it has like no effect on him.
It has no effect.
No effect.
Oh, that's awesome. That's what I wanted to hear. Yep. I'm going to cast my Channel Divinity against it as my bonus action,
Okay.
and then that's going to be my turn.
All right. Megler.
Well, I'm gonna go up to this dead one here.
Eat it.
Get my javelins out of it.
Okay.
Let's see, is this...
The important things in life.
Alright, he's 20 feet. And how far does my javelin? Yeah, I guess I'll just throw a javelin at this one.
Okay.
Vasin peeks his head out and gives him the thumbs up.
What's your javelin range anyway?
Probably
20,
60
like
feet,
30 feet.
right?
30 feet.
It's 30
I believe.
feet, so,
Oh,
it's a
he's 60.
disadvantage. Actually, but it still hits.
Dang, nice Meglar.
That's
Dart throwing, javelin throwing.
You guys
Shit.
are masters with the ranged weapons.
Yeah, who needs an archer?
Right.
Oh, and I guess I will throw it again. Throw another one at him.
Could fucking dart in your neck.
you got a freaking dirt in your neck, man.
Oh,
Oh shit. Think that's a miss.
11? Yeah, it's gonna miss.
Alright, well, that's my turn.
Alright, Snodlers from inside the building. I bet you heard that.
So
I ran in and told him there's another. There's another one.
and I probably heard a very poor attempt of grovel, and then roar. Oh, all right, cool. So I'm going to. Ooh, can I? Apparently, I'm on the wrong thing. So I'm going. Can I move through this square, or is that wall? And
Yeah, that's all wall and like yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean you can move through Vasin
Alright.
space.
all right. So I still don't have line of sight, right?
Let's see. So yeah, you probably see him because he's just above the rooftop there. Because these are about 40-foot sections of walls, and you see this
Alright.
thing about 20 feet above the roof, making a beeline for Vasin.
Nice. So like I'm now in line of it with Vasin. Is that the deal?
Yeah, basically.
Why
Yeah.
did they not
All
like
right, I'm cool with that.
Drawing it in, perfect.
And it's pretty far away from everything else, right?
Yeah, I mean, Antorus is out there looking like a snack by himself. These guys got a little bit of cover by the wall over here. But yeah, it's up by itself. It's up in the air.
Snodlers grins and smiles and licks his thumb and puts it to the sky. And
Fireball! They don't have a whole lot of decks, so let's see. Yeah, he rolls an 8.
oof.
nice.
Yeah, so you blast him with this fireball right to his fire.
And then I'm going to dive back under here and then literally dive, so I'm prone. Oh god!
What's me? Hide! Alright,
That is my turn.
alright, so that's his turn. Let's see what his range to you guys is.
Oh, and I'm gonna be literally like, I'm pretty, like I'm probably my feet are probably hanging out. Like I barely was able to jump back.
Is somebody drawing on his...
Instead of a helicopter hat.
Yes.
It happens almost every battle.
God, way to ruin the immersion. All right, so this thing flies like towards the doorway of these of this wreckage here, and he lands just about above you guys, and he unleashes this. The dragon breathes out his breath attack. So Hector, Snodlers, and Vasin have to make some dexterity saving throws.
The Constitution was to see if I pooped.
Yeah, you didn't poop.
No.
So Hector saves. All right, let's see here. It is a 7d8.
78. I'm dead.
78. So 28 damage. Unless you save,
half.
you take half.
Wait, who saved?
I used my evasion, so I take half damage on a fail.
And Hector saves, and Snodler saves. So you guys all take
So
14.
So 14, and then I cast Absorb Elements, so it brings it down to 7, right?
Yeah, so what does that do? So you get to take an extra d6 damage off of it. Yeah.
Oh, so I get resistance.
No.
To
You
Yeah,
have resistance to the trigger damage until the start of your next turn as well, right? Gotcha.
So, yeah, and then if I make a melee attack, I get to add like 1d6 fire damage.
That's awesome.
But I don't really have a melee weapon.
Just slap him.
Yeah, I have that dagger. You think I'm running up to this thing? You're crazy.
Let's see. What was his? Let me see how far he moved. Like right where the smiley face was.
Quick, move the smiley face.
So that was his 50 feet there. So he breathes his fire, and then he kind of flies in just above, probably Vasin, since Snothers is prone. He comes in and just makes his second 2 attacks at Vasin.
I mean, he can do it to me. It's just advantage.
I was gonna say what?
I'm prone, so melee attacks would get advantage on me.
He's at disadvantage. Like, hold on.
Yeah, wait a minute, no. I mean,
advantage.
He probably would if he were on the ground, but he's just like flying. He's like hovering above.
Oh,
and
all right,
considering
yeah,
that
yeah.
Vasin's taller, I think he would just be like trying to bite down the lion, trying to bite down on his head.
I'm just trying to tell you to kill me. Like, it's no big deal. I got a B character. Like, it's no big deal.
He wants to die. All right, so he makes a bite at Vasin's face with an 18 to hit.
Disadvantage?
That's disadvantage. Yep.
Fuck, it hits.
I want to use my reaction. No, I use my reaction. Fuck, never mind.
That's for 8 piercing. Rawr. And then he also tries to scratch at you with his claws. A 21 at disadvantage.
Oh fuck yeah, that hits.
But it's only for 7 slashing. And that's all he can do. So go ahead, Antorus.
Is it on the ground?
No, it's like right above. It's like hovering above Vasin. You see his wings flapping. He's kind of like blocking most of your view of Vasin. This thing is so big.
I'm gonna run up to there and take a shot.
Oh, you didn't want to shoot from where you were? God.
No.
I was hoping.
Why not?
Hand crossbow only has a range of 30 feet.
Oh, I'm just thinking the way he rolls.
When you're hoping to
11.
miss and then kill Vasin.
That's how Vasin dies, by the hands of Antorus. Yeah, so you miss. Crossbow bolt shoots wide. Oh, yes. So I don't think anybody's in range for you. I need you, Antorus, to make a dexterity saving throw.
You shoot it straight up in the air. It comes back down on you.
Dexterity saving throw.
Nice. So your crossbow sort of jams up for a second, but you've used these weapons long enough to know when to push them without snapping the bowstring, and it just jams up for a second, and you lose that shot.
All right, that's it from return.
All right, Hector.
Is this Vasin looking like he's about to fucking expire
Yep.
on me?
Map
He's
close.
pretty hurt.
All right. Get him.
As per usual.
I'm gonna cast polymorph on Vasin. The wall here is broken and there's no roof above us, right?
Yeah, in the section that you're in, the roof is all open.
Fuck yeah, you're going giant ape form, son.
Yes.
So I can't send you the thing for that, but it's pretty fucking dope. So if you want to look up the giant ape stats, you have those.
If you go to extra, I think you can add it so that way you can see him. That seems pretty giant.
He's a little bit too giant there. We'll put him like that. He's the size of the thing, and now it's like a battle of King Kong versus what's the dragon one, Rodan.
What is the Chimera's reaction to all of a sudden the guy he's thinking he's about to eat just turns into a
What?
giant ape.
What CR level is it?
It's 5 or 7. I forget.
Is it 1 or you said it's 7?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have it on my fucking wild shape list.
Yeah, it's not on the wild shape list. You have to go to like the
actual beast thing.
It's a polymorph, so it's any monster, any beast.
any beast your level or lower. So you have 157 hit points, AC 12, and you get 2 attacks. They're +9 and do 3d10 plus 6 damage.
You should see it in your journal.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
You should be able to use that token and whatnot.
And then is this wall here broken enough I can slip outside?
Yeah, that's like a partial wall, so yeah, you could like kind of like hop over the edge of it.
Fuck yeah. Going this way. Something like that. Getting the fuck out of here. And that's the end of my turn.
All right, Vasin, the giant ape, grape ape.
What did I just swing? Fist. I don't know how this is gonna work, but I'm gonna do it.
Should be able to just open up the.
With a King Kong smash, he misses as this thing just kind of like smacks you with its massive wings and deflects your fist.
Do it again.
Yeah!
Oh!
Nice.
Ooh.
You slammed this dragon right in its face.
Go, 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 go!
Yes. Oh, so good. 3d10 plus 6. Okay, nice. As you just like slam this thing, and you see like the teeth of the dragon, a couple of them just start break off. One of them's like embedded into your fist.
Damn, dog. Is that 60? Legit, almost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, it's my turn.
That is Kolos' turn.
All right. Not gonna freak out. There's a giant ape. I'm going to run up and try to poke this thing, I guess, in the belly. Is it in melee range?
Yeah, I mean its back is to you, so you can run up and just stab it in the back.
Okay. I'll do that with a longsword. For 22.
Yeah, so you kind of just run up and you kind of like jump a little bit and slam this thing right in the back for 11 slashing.
I'm going to smite it. Just with a level 1.
Alright.
And then I'm going to swing in with a longsword. Yikes.
Yeah, this time you miss, as it's flying, so it's like it's moving, and this whole time you're swinging at it, it's kind of.
Oh wait, sorry. I get advantage. I forgot I took the.
Oh yeah, so the vow of enmity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it hits with the 14. So.
Yeah, perfect. So I'm gonna smite again, but this time we won't do it at second level.
All right, let's see what kind of damage you can do.
There we go.
All right, nice. Yeah, so you kind of run up there, and it's moving around. You're like weaving in and out, and you're just hacking into this thing.
That's gonna end my turn.
All right, Maglar.
Well, before I go anywhere, I'm gonna take that dart off this dead one here.
The murder dart.
And then just bang it up. And then I'm gonna run right up towards this whatever, Cerberus. Now, is he within melee?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, he's only like 10 feet off the ground. You guys can all you can all hit him. It's this massive creature.
Okay. And I am gonna swing at him with my greatsword.
Yeah, two-handed greatsword. Yeah, +2.
Slice his tail off.
Chop his fucking head off.
Nice, Meglar.
With
Dope.
20 damage.
Nice. As you hit this thing, and
that's what I'm
it
talking about.
falls to the ground. It's still alive, and like its hind leg is like split almost in two with a massive attack of the greatsword. It is like limping, and like you hear it like kind of like reeling out in pain now. It's still alive. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to try to finish him off with the greatsword once again.
All right. Oh, nice.
Man, I was hoping I was going to be able to throw a dart.
Just finish it off with a dart, like the mama was. So yeah, this thing just like falls on the ground. It's kind of like limping around, and you just like no mercy, just take the sword, great sword, with two hands over your head, and just slam it right down into the back of this thing, and it just falls flat, and its wings flop down, and it's lifeless. And you hear the goat go, bah. No, Meglar.
I throw big chunk poop. Oh wait, gorillas don't throw poop. Oh, apes do. Hmm? I'm throwing poop. Giant turds the size of Snodlers.
Oh God.
When I see this devolve into a poo flinging contest, I drop concentration.
Enough of this, guys.
And
I
I'm
am
just
gonna
there
take
looking
my
at myself
tablet
like,
off
what
this
the
one as well.
fuck?
Settlers also dropped concentration, which means he probably shits, though.
Do you smell that?
What the fuck was that? Hector, what did you do?
Sorry, man. You looked like you were about to expire. I did.
I'm hurt.
Yeah,
I like limp over and make my way to the tree to make sure it's okay.
follow close behind.
And then I get down and just like get down on my knees and start praying.
All right. Before I go in, I'm gonna go look for my javelin over here that I missed him with, if I can find it.
It's like up on the roof.
Yeah, that javelin's gone.
It's like a frisbee.
Okay.
It's
Flew
like a
over the-
frisbee that you never get back.
All right. That's their javelins.
So you guys run over to the tree. Vasin, you start meditating near the tree, and you hear the voice of Zendaka just like whispering, like, "Good job." And as you guys stand in front of the tree, you feel like this healing energy, like kind of just like glowing out, radiating out from the tree. And you guys all just manage to roll yourself an extra D10 worth of hit points or healing.
Ooh.
Can I try and climb to the roof?
Where are you at? Like on the outside there?
Yeah.
You can try. There's not a lot of like handholds, and it's high, but you can certainly try because there is like a lot of spots that are kind of missing.
I have those on.
Okay.
If that matters.
You get a +5 to strength. Yeah, checks for climbing. So yeah, go ahead and make an athletics check.
13?
Antorus, the king of rolls. Yeah, so you manage to get like halfway up and you slip down, and you take about a D4 worth of bludgeoning damage. Hey, so you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage. You slip down the first time. As you start climbing up, you grab some of the debris, and it just slips out from your hands, and you stumble down.
I'm starting to hate this game. Like, I don't know if the dice gods are mad at me or what. I've never done anything to them, but they fucking hate me.
You're the worst roller. You should just start rolling actual dice.
It's just because you play with me. Like, I typically roll 3s and 5s. So, like...
Well,
Yeah, on D5s, though. Wait, can I do that?
I roll like shit in every game I play, even if you're there or not.
Like 1d5.
In Jason's game, I rolled like shit. When I DM'd, I rolled like shit. It does not matter.
Do you want to make a second attempt to find a different spot to climb up that might be a little bit easier?
Yes.
All right, so you come down to like to this side that's already kind of like smashed, and there's like it's kind of like an easier way because the it's more graduated up to the top, to the 40 feet up there. Make another athletics check.
I'm gonna fight a bitch.
Yes.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, so you think you find a spot that's like, oh, this is like way easier. I'm totally gonna get up this spot. And again, you make it like halfway up, and you take another 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you slip off. The wall starts to crumble beneath your feet, and you fall.
And collapses on him. Collapse on him.
And you fall down pretty much on your back, and you're at a point where like it knocks the wind out of you, and luckily nobody hears you over there.
I'm gonna go walk to the camp and sit there. I'm just over the monastery. Fuck the monastery. So I'm wandering off down the south. I'm ready to go. Fuck this noise.
Fuck this place. Yeah, so anybody around the tree, you can go ahead and you get some healing properties of the tree as you kind of sit, and you guys all see Vasin kind of meditating near the tree.
How tall are the shortest leaves? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like 10 feet up to the bottom branches.
I look up and I frowny face.
It's not a real good climbing tree.
Or jumping tree for when you're 3 feet.
It'd be disrespectful to climb the tree.
Snodderlers was not planning on climbing it. Snodderlers just wanted a leaf.
You could maybe look around the ground?
There is leaves on the ground. The trimmer that just destroyed half of the leaves out of it jumped out. So
they're pretty new.
They're pretty new, but they're not that bright orange color anymore. They're more of like a dull brownish color already.
So would I be able to assume that if I removed one, it would have done the same?
Yep. It's like when Rapunzel cut her hair off and it... No, never mind.
Turned into a rope?
Sorry, I have kids.
Mm-hmm. Alright, Snodlers is suddenly not as interested in the leaf.
I'm gonna walk up to Vasin, and then I'm gonna touch him and give him 15 more points of health if you need it.
So creepy. You just walk over and touch him.
And just touch him. Yep.
Hey, buddy.
Feel this warming, healing feeling come over me. I open my eyes and stand up from the crouch position. I pull out the Rod of Finding and say,
what's that command word? I pull out my cap of water breathing and
seek.
Yeah, so you pull it out, and you start waving around in different directions, and within the 60 feet over you, yeah, it's not vibrating. You're not detecting anything around you.
Would I know if there's stairs going downstairs or a basement to this place?
No, you would know that like the monastery is just a single level place.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue walking back through here.
Okay.
I'm assuming this is the doors and stairs, right?
Yeah, so there's a door over here, you recall, and this is like some steps that lead up to the main worship chamber that Antorus sent the owl in that he saw.
Oh, I wanted to go to the library. That's right.
Yeah, so the library is back here.
Yep. Yeah. So is this the door? Or is this the door?
So
this first one?
Yeah, that's the door. Yep, to the library.
It's so dark in here.
Meglar is also going to offer that dart back to Vasin.
Oh, thank you, Meglar.
Snodlers would like to go to this 3 on the ground and investigate it.
Say Meglar did anything for you.
I here, Meglar. Thank you for your time, and I give him. I want to put some of this ointment on him.
There's no 3 on the ground. I don't know where you're seeing this 3.
You can roll a 2d8 plus 2, and you cease to be poisoned and is cured of any disease.
Your chlamydia is gone.
Or your affliction. That you knew nothing about.
Oh my god, the numbers, they're gone! Well, just that one.
Just that one. All right, now I'm going to go through and I'm going to put them all, I'm going to make them all disappear.
No, don't worry about it.
I don't want to have the time to do that.
So how much of this does it use it one shot? It's done. Ski, is that what I'm reading here?
That's
Or
good.
it contains 1d4 plus 1
Yeah.
uses.
Yeah, you'd have to roll a 1d4
Let's see
that
how
tells you
many-
how many
yeah.
uses.
So a maximum of 5.
So 5.
Yeah.
And you get 5.
So I used 1 use for on Meglar for helping me.
Nice. Yeah, so Meglar, like you start feeling really good, and you start feeling like you don't have any need for any more beef jerky, even though Hector had already kind of like suppressed some of your urges from that.
Damn. I suddenly don't need that jerky shit anymore.
Thank you for my dart back. I hope this helped.
It sure did.
I'll go over to the east wall and just cast light on the wall.
Over here.
East wall, like whatever this.
All right, so let me see. So you guys, you walk into this room and it's fairly lit up in there, but like in that corner where it's not lit up, there is an old fireplace in there, and other than that, this room is kind of like littered. The whole floor is kind of littered with burned books and scrolls. The bookshelves are all toppled over and smashed, and like most of the books that you see, like all the pages are just like burnt to ash.
There's nothing. Can I search for something?
Yeah.
Any books that are whole?
Yeah, make an investigation check.
Damn it.
Balls. You don't really find much of anything that's still intact. That's readable.
Sorry, Snothers. This was a nice library. I was hoping we could find something for you.
Oh, well, I mean, unless it gave description on what you guys did and why, I don't know that Snottles would care too much, but I appreciate the thought.
There probably would be some scrolls pertaining to what we do here.
So Snothers, you can also make a investigation check because you're a little bit smaller. You can kind of like climb up into some of the smaller nooks and crannies of these little bookshelves. And all right, so you do find something, Snothers. You find a little scroll that's kind of tucked up in a jar in one of the bookshelves, and it hasn't been burned away like the rest of the books in there. And it is a scroll that explains the teachings of Oman.
So, notionally, I'm just going to take the scroll and be like, Vasin, this one appears to not have escaped the fire. Wait, this one appears to have escaped the fire. And I hand it to him.
Wouldn't you like to read it and obtain the knowledge?
Of course Snarlers would, but it is your history.
Well, I'm here to share.
Did you say history of, how do you spell it? Oman?
Oman. Not Oman. Oman. It's Oman. Not Homan.
All right, so it's got a couple of papers in there. Like one paper is like the 100 teachings of Oman. Also, you end up finding, like within that, also a little bit of like the description of how the monastery works, where you kind of what Vasin was telling you guys, that you come there and you learn how the ways of the monk and the ways of trying to become a master. And after 10 years of training, you can go through these trials to prove yourself both physically and mentally. And then once you become a master and pass the trials, you were to leave the monastery and go and start your own monastery and spread the word of Oman. Failure of the trials, it is up to the other members, the masters would decide what you were going to do, whether you were to be sent away or continue your training. But Only 10 monks at a time were ever allowed in this place. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, when you guys were in the courtyard too, around the tree was all these statues, these things that you guys see around here. There's rows of statues that are all facing the tree, and these statues are all like statues of monks, and they're all in different poses. They're like fairly well made statues. They're like white marble, and
Nautilus is confused though. There are 20 of them. I thought only 10 could be here.
yeah. So there's 20 of them, and then
10 students.
Yep. So, but within the teachings of Oman, like the statues in there are all the great like masters throughout the history of the Brotherhood. So that's why there's more than 10. And but as you guys are kind of like looking around, if you're like healing yourselves and stuff, you guys do see these statues, and you notice that 3 of the statues are these statues in this armor. You can see the artwork that I posted in the journal, roughly what they look like. And so, like Vasin tells you guys that like, oh, these 3 are the 3 original the masters of Oman. One being Zedaka, Hewa, and Mamaru. But anyway, so back to the study. Yeah, so other than that, like the burnt books and things like that, there's an old fireplace. Like at one point, like Vasin said, this was like a beautiful library, and it was just completely, obviously, destroyed, and all the knowledge just gone.
Yeah, very sad. Esnathers, when you're done reading that, I would like to hand that to Brother Foles so he could keep that and bring it back to the monastery when it's back in order.
Nautilus understands.
If you wish, you could write the information in your book and then hand the scroll back when you are done.
I don't know if that's really the same thing for my book, but Nautilus has another book. Or Nautilus will have to buy another book, but I will do that.
We're gonna keep looking around for shit. I'm gonna go upstairs.
All right, so make a perception check, Vasin, as you walk back through the courtyard.
When you pass the 3...
Oh my god. Yeah, so just south of where the 3 was, you guys kind of like all pass through, and on the back side over here where you guys, not where the 3 was, but where yes, over there where Snouthers is, you guys see the this cow, this massive cow that's on the ground, and you can smell like the rotting flesh of this thing. But
is this Yuri?
Yes. Let's see. Sorry.
I smell Yuri's feet. I'm very confused.
It is uncanny how much they smell like, actually.
Yeah. So you smell the strong smell of the rotting flesh of this cow, and like the body had been split apart across the middle, and it was like folded like completely in half, like opposite way, and the insides were all completely charred. But just near this corpse of this cow is this small hole dug in the ground, and you see some shinies sticking out of there, as this was the treasure hoard of the beast.
Nautilus is confused that he liked the cow so much to keep it.
Is this the monk's weaponry that was stolen?
So you look in the hole, and you find like a collection of things. So you find this brass mug with like this beautiful jade inlay, kind of like crafted around it. You find a carved ivory statue. It's pretty small. It's only about 6 inches high. It's very ornate. Like the artistry is amazing, but it's nothing that you've seen before, Vasin. It doesn't come from the monastery. Either does the brass mug. You find a gold ring with a large bloodstone in it. Some cool items you find. You do find a hat of vermin. And Ahead of Vermin, you find a sentinel shield, which maybe you're going to want. You also find an ornate short sword with an ivory tusk pommel. And a +1 short bow.
Damn.
And along with that, you find 500 copper, 8,000 silver,
Jesus fuck.
and 1,900 gold. So that was a pretty good loot table there.
What the fuck?
So yeah, you find the hoard that these 2 creatures were just living in here and collecting from wherever.
Sonalus enjoys that it was able to do round numbered.
If you could copy pasta that,
Yes.
John, that'd be great.
What's that?
If you copy pasta, that'd be great.
Here. Just say it Uncounty. Oh shit, hold on. Did I just whisper that? No.
There is a cow level.
No, that was when we were saying uncanny.
Uncounty.
And,
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so there's all the stuff that you find in the little treasure hoard of the Chimera's hole.
So that's technically 800 gold and silver pieces, and 5 gold worth of copper pieces?
Yeah.
It's tens in D&D, right?
I don't normally do copper and stuff because it's just annoying. But I just rolled on a table, and this is what came up. I was like, oh, cool, I'm just going to post it. Just 8,000 silver. But yeah, you guys can divvy that up whatever way you want. And there's the prices of these things that they're worth, too. I'm not going to roleplay and make you guys figure out what they're worth. But
Hector or Kolos, would you like this shield? It's quite fine.
What does the shield do?
It's badass, take it.
I don't know.
I would love to have that if you don't want it. Like,
It is quite good shield, I hear.
Yeah, Hector, you can have it.
hell yeah.
yeah, so it's just a shield, but it also gives you advantage on initiative rolls and like perception checks, I think.
I think so too. It's really good for a tank or someone who wants to go up there and actually frontline, because then you can actually roll high enough.
Right, you can
Yeah,
jump
you
into
get the
combat.
advantage
And,
on you get advantage on your initiative, which is fucking huge.
so
I had that on my paladin.
That's what I figured Yuri or Kolos.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about Yuri. He's not here.
You
Sadly.
made a joke about his feet like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, yes,
Well,
I
that's
know.
what
I know.
reminded me about the shield. I was like, oh shit.
Short bow. Anyone want this short bow? If not, we could just stuff it in the bag of holding that Snodlers and Vitoris have.
Snodlers will put it in his bag of holding and then put the bag of holding in his bag of holding.
Perfect.
It'll be
And the characters.
Black hole.
No. I just feel like we'll just start an adventure somewhere else on another plane.
Yeah, and characters, because I'm not doing that.
You mean you wouldn't do a rescue attempt?
No, because you guys would all go to different planes.
Hmm.
What happens if it's a G6?
I think you just go to the astral plane, which is essentially, I think, space.
After we find that loot and divvy it up, I'm gonna continue with searching, try to clear the whole monastery to make sure it was safe for everyone to get here.
Yeah, so I would assume that you want to go into the main worship area where you spent a lot of time learning from the masters and the.
Was that from up here or down? I'm assuming it's up this way and then in.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Do you go this way and in?
Yep. I'm just trying to open all that up. I think it's all of them. Yeah, so that's the massive worship room.
Come up the altar right away.
Snodlers investigates these like little urine pots.
Those are like pillars that lead up to the ceiling.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, so this room has like a big vaulted ceiling. This is like the largest chamber in the monastery. That's like 60-foot high ceilings, and it kind of disguises the tree from from the outside. But yeah, this is a pretty massive room. But all these like short benches that are they're probably only like 6 or 8 inches off the ground. You would kind of like sit on it, like crisscross applesauce style. And,
Nice.
So Vasin remembers sitting on these a lot, like reading through his texts and stuff. But yeah, then you see these large, like sarcophagus-looking things, but they're like giant cases. That these were the ancient containers for the masters. So I'm sure Vasin's probably not too happy seeing that. Like they're completely just missing this.
And nothing's in them.
Nothing's in them. The sweet ass armor and weapons gone.
Desecrated this room. They will pay. What about this one? Are they all missing?
All 3 are empty. Yep.
Fucking sons of bitches. Fuckers.
I think you guys were already here, but Snodler's rolled an 11 investigation to investigate the floating quest marker at the bottom next to the 1.
That is the urinal, and you found a large turd.
Oh yeah, so
In
that
the
was
urinal? That's a fucking sketchy shit.
So yeah, so this out on the front there.
We poop in urinals here.
Out here is where Antorus had investigated out here earlier. And there was sandals out there. There's a whole bunch of intact, like nice leather sandals all underneath this benches.
Ooh, Snodler's takes a pair. I'm sure they're all way too big.
Yeah, they're way too big.
Still take the smallest pair.
Sweet. As we clear this and there's nothing really that I can find, I'm gonna just look around some more on the way out, like trying to keep an eye out for anything that would ring a bell.
Yeah, so I would assume
And
you
I
guys
see no bells being rung.
Yeah, but I assume you guys spend the rest of your time just like clearing out, making sure there's no other creatures or anything in the place.
Or numbers.
So you walk through the different numbered rooms, and like room number 4 is like the wardrobe room. So you kind of come in here and you see that this room has like a bunch of small closets, and they're also like smashed and charred. But you do see the white robes of the monk robes on the floor. They're kind of like laying on the floor amongst the splintered wood and stuff. But the robes do have like big boot prints on them. So they were nice robes, but they got pirate boot prints on them.
So Snodlers would like to put on the robe and the oversized sandals and jump out into the thing and be like, I'm Vasin. I drink a lot of alcohol. Blah, 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 blah.
Snodler's hammered?
Like the robes are like trailing by like 3 feet and the sandals look like I'm falling.
Picture like the sleeves being like wicked long over his hands.
It's just a mound of a white robe over some creature apparently.
Someone feed me alcohols.
I just see him and I take a big swig out of my gourd and I like hand it off, like point it like out to him to drink.
No, it's not Lewis. It's fine. Thank you.
This was for all my brothers at the monastery, and I just take a big long sip out of it.
I leave the robe and the sandals where I stay and step out of them.
You guys also go up into this other room up here. Yeah, you kind of walk through the kitchen. Not much is there. We got your like broken clay pottery. And it's kind of all smashed all over. Again, like you see everything like that's like boxes and all the cupboards. Everything is the same way. Everything's like ripped apart and smashed on the floor and opened up. You walk into this room, like a bunch of rats kind of like scurry out and like they jump out of one of the cracks in the wall. You also find like a whole bag of flour ripped open, and in this room you do see like these large cat footprints in there, but obviously that's been dealt with. The only other room you guys haven't really gone in was up here, the barracks, like the sleeping quarters. Vasin, you find your old bed, and this room is all same thing, a bunch of old beds, and they're all smashed, but each in the center of this room there's a bunch of these small chests, and the tops of them all have been ripped off, and they're all in a pile in the center of the room. Like you kind of look through there, and these chests, they have like personal belongings in there. There's like underwear and like scrolls and like just different like personal effects of all the monks that had lived in here. Like
well,
eating,
I'm gonna gather all those
and shit
effects.
like that. Yeah, like just random things that you guys would have had in like your own little box of things. So like basically, I guess you guys would all like understand that you're getting the gist that these pirates were coming through here, searching for something, rip this whole place apart, search every box and container, and
yeah. I'm gonna gather all the monks things that are all in the boxes.
Okay.
Vasin, Nautilus is confused. Do you always walk around shoeless, or all the sandals in the front mean that everyone is in a prayer or something?
Well, you usually take them off to show respect when you're walking into the chapel.
So, do you not have people watching who would be coming and going? That it was a surprise?
Well, what do you mean?
That they would be here and that there would be an attack. Nautilus doesn't understand why you would not expect or have someone watching out for others.
To be attacked? We're monks. We just sit and pray and go through our training. We're not expected to be attacked. Why would we? We don't threaten other lives, and we just live at the monastery.
Well, that's why
there'd be no cause. I don't know why the monastery was attacked.
I mean, it's very.
I guess that's what we're trying to figure it out. That's kind of what I thought. Maybe they didn't find it, or maybe they did and they took it and left.
If it was here, I bet you the goat, dragon, lion would have found it.
Yes, if I would assume if it likes to hoard its loot, then the loot that we found, it would have been there.
Yeah, it would have been in the Yuri cow.
I agree.
So it's not one of those things that they either found it or it was never here.
Yes. But everything is clear here, so we could tell the captain and commander that they're safe to start the rebuild.
Ooh, did we check the backyard? Snodler's, without any regard, just like runs out of the backside.
It's a good thing Snodler's ran out there and not like over here where the cliff was.
What's over here? Whee! I didn't do fly today.
I don't have slow fall.
Oh yeah, no. What's slow fall? That's like a passive ability bullshit. It's not fireball. I don't need it.
Yeah. So you guys, go ahead.
Sorry, to be a little specific with this treasure hoard, if you will. There's a couple things that I would like out of it. If anybody has a problem, let me know. Can I get the carved ivory statuette, the ornate throat sword, and all the copper, or most of the copper, and a few of the silver?
Yeah, I don't care. You're sure? I got no problem.
Sure.
Eureka.
I just wanted the shield. Like, I wanted these like for fucking ever with this character.
What's the ring? Snothers? Do you know if this ring is magic?
Huh? Snodderlose didn't pay attention. Snodderlose wasn't concerned because it didn't have a spell scroll, but I guess Snodderlose should probably look.
It's a gold ring set with a bloodstone in it.
Yeah, well... So, I guess notionally I would probably be able to identify a bloodstone if it's actually an actual spellcast bloodstone. Is that the implication?
Yeah.
Alright, well, Snodderlose honestly didn't pay attention at all, I will not lie.
There's a lot going on here. I would see why you'd be distracted.
Well, I was too busy thinking about jumping out of the wall again with your robes on, and it was kind of... so I guess I'm going to pick up the ring and try to investigate to see if it's even magical, or if the bloodstone is basically intact.
Yeah, it is. Roll the 19.
Snodderlose thinks that this ring is magic, and that the bloodstone may even have a spell.
But it's nothing compared to the power of the heart.
Yeah, like I feel like it's muted in comparison. I'm like, yeah, it's magical. Here you
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you know? What magic is inside?
Snodulus thinks that it would probably take about an hour to figure that out.
Well, if you could investigate it more when we're back on the boat.
Okay. Snodulus wanted to read some more, quote, poetry, but I guess I'll take care of this.
Before we leave, I want to check around the altar area, see if there's any sort of description or names of the swords and armor that these guys had. I don't know if their weapons had names or not. And then check around in this room for any sort of hidden anything. Hidden compartments behind the altar or like secret path, something like that.
So
Go ahead, Sounders.
No. I was being rude. You're up.
No, so for Hector, like, there's no inscriptions or anything like on the boxes, but the only thing that's like inscribed on them is their names.
Okay.
And like the weapons and armor themselves, you can find the exact likeness of them on the statues of them.
Okay, cool.
So Vasin would definitely know which one Zendaka is because he's seen him. But like, yeah, for like secret passages or anything. There's nothing like secret passages or like hidden stairs or anything like that in here.
Okay, cool.
I was gonna try to meditate and try to get a hold of Zendaka while you're doing all that. Everyone else is looking around.
Okay. What were you gonna say, Jason?
Who the shit is Jason?
Snothers. What was it?
So the Hat of Vermin. Does it look cool?
Yeah, I thought I was just gonna look that up because I was like, Hat of Vermin. That's probably pretty fun.
It holds absolutely no purpose, but if it looks cool, Snodulus might be interested.
Is it a rat head or a rat body?
I was thinking like it was made with like rat fur on it.
Yeah.
But it is actually the normal Hat of Vermin, though, right?
Yeah, whatever it's in DD Beyond.
Yeah. So the way that I interpret it is it's actually like a top hat. It's just a really bad magician's top hat.
Perfect for Snodulus.
Yeah, actually, I kind of like that, like a top hat. But I do like the band around it is like it has like rat fur sewn into it. It's got to look crappy, but
it's got to look like way off, right?
Yeah.
And it can summon a bat, a frog, or a rat.
So good.
Yeah. So like if Snodulus thinks that it would look good to a Sunwalker, Snodulus might take it.
Oh yeah, so like Snodulus thinks that it looks good, but it really doesn't. But Snodulus thinks
Oh
it looks
man!
good.
Oh god! Oh, I don't want to be awkward.
Oh, it's gonna be totally awkward. I think Snodulus would love to wear something like that because he probably thinks all the daywalkers are think I'm like cool shit wearing this hat.
God. All right.
Wait, aren't you wearing your cape too?
Oh my god! Yeah, you mean the kids' PJs? Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
The tiger cape.
Yeah, so it matches. It's good. It's fur.
So Snodulus, if no one else gets it, that hat might be a good addition to my cape as I furl it out a little bit.
Hector has like green armor.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah. When we get back to the ship, I think I'm gonna do something about that too.
What do you mean green armor? What?
Oh yeah, so I don't remember if you were there or not, but I bought back in Saltmarsh. One of the leather crafters had like this like green like studded leather armor.
Gross.
So yeah, you guys all stand out like.
Yeah, Hector's like, and then on top of that, he has like the cloak of protection now, so it's like. And his coat that he was wearing, because he generally doesn't wear a shirt. It's fucking hot out most of the time. We're in the sun or whatever, so he's like, whatever. He's going like open like jacket most of the time. Is his like motif or whatever.
So you're just like male nipples swaying.
Pretty much. And so now after his coat burned up in the fucking lava cave, I've just got the cloak of protection and my like armor,
like studded green leather vest.
Yeah, yeah. And like probably down the right arm, like has some kind of protection on like the one side, so on his non-shielded side.
Yeah, so you guys all look pretty badass, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, probably later when I get back to the ship, I don't know how big those giant crab shell is, but I wanted to see if I can make like a sort of like a maybe breastplate or something like that out of it.
Yeah, it's probably the size of like a small shield.
Okay.
So you could make a breastplate or a shield out of it, or I don't know, a couple dinner plates or something.
Yeah, so I was really hoping for a breastplate. That's what I was gonna try and go for. I don't know how it'll take to make that, but I'll be spending some time on that over the next little while.
All right, so you guys, what else are you guys? Oh, so Vasin, you were meditating. So yeah, you hear some stuff, which I am going to DM you some secret stuff that you hear only in your head from Zendaka. What are the rest of you guys doing then? While you guys are kind of like, I'm assuming it's going to take you guys a couple hours. You like go around and like secure the area before you. I'm assuming you're going to head back to the ship, but
yeah, I figured I was gonna just meditate for like the rest of the time when we realized nothing else was going on, like saying my goodbyes for now and trying to get a hold of Zendaka before we leave.
Okay.
I'm trying to get like a good enough bead on these weapons and armor that I could potentially locate them with magic. So I'm gonna spend a lot of time doing that and then make sure everything's like locked down secure.
I'm gonna dig graves.
I'm going to go out and try to skin some of the dragon part of the Chimera's there, and then pull a fang out of the lion's mouth.
Nice.
And then just roll that all up and keep it in a little like pouch, if you will.
Snodlers is going to try to skin the goat portion with his dagger.
Okay.
Seeing the dragon getting done, I'm like, Snodlers thinks the goat's pretty sweet.
Sweet goat, bro.
If you want.
What?
I said I'll give you a hand if you want.
Snodlers can do it.
Yeah.
Poorly.
I'll give you little tips like, just tilt the blade a little bit.
Oh man.
Yeah, you did too good of a job. You got like a sweet ass like goat skin.
Snodlers is gonna make some pants.
Which is just like its neck and its like face. And like Antorus' crossbow bolt was shoved through its jaw, so it's kind of jacked up anyway.
Alright. Note to self, make chimera goat skin legs.
Yes. Would I think there's anything in here I could use in my alchemy?
Where, like with the creatures, or just like in the
creatures? Specifically, there's I gotta find the recipe book. I can make a potion of fire breath. I didn't know if, because these guys breathe fire, I didn't know if there was something I could substitute out for that.
Gotcha. Yeah, go ahead and roll a survival check then, and just see if there's anything like you think that you could cut out of the dragon's mouth or anything. Yes, you look around and you just don't know enough of the anatomy of these things to harvest anything out of it.
Fair enough.
It's like you dig around, you think it's right, but you pull out the pancreas.
That's gotta be it.
It is called the angry organ.
All right, so are you guys gonna head back then after you kind of rest up a little bit?
Yeah.
Are we taking a short rest?
Yeah, you guys can take a short rest. And
Meglar's just gonna walk outside as Vasin's still meditating. He's just gonna look at Vasin and just nod and then just walk on.
Well, if we were actually going to sit here and short rest, then Snodlers would like to go by the tree and investigate that ring to the best of his ability to determine what it is.
Yeah, sure. So Snodlers, you basically determine like the way I'm gonna rule that is like the ring is you can take one of your own spells and like kind of like preload it at like a higher level, which is what I think it's like. Is it 1 or 2 levels higher?
What the shit?
Bloodstone.
That's crazy.
Like I said, it's similar to the heart now that like I look at it.
I'm not complaining.
Real quick question: the red, green, and blue like dots above our heads on our characters, what do those represent? I forgot.
Health, AC, or passive perception, passive investigation.
Yeah, the green one's your health, the blue one's your AC, and the red is your PP, your passive perception.
Gosh, I gotta do some updates real quick.
Oh, so
mine should be 16.
Yeah, I haven't updated them, and then you have to save it on your character sheet or whatever. But
okay,
I do them from time to time, but I haven't really paid attention to those.
I just updated. I don't know if it'll save or not. I just updated mine, so
it won't.
Snodlers, the Bloodstone spell, Jen, like I said, you go ahead and pick a spell that's on your list, but it's only up to the 3rd level.
So it's kind of is it a ring of spell storing up to 3rd level that gives you a bonus increase, or is it just a ring of spell storing that stores a single one up to 3rd?
Just a single one up to 3rd, yeah. So you can cast as free that one use up one of your spell slots.
Can someone else cast it if I fill it?
Ooh.
And is it a normal item, or is it something that's custom?
No, it's a normal item. It's the spell gem Bloodstone.
Oh, jeez. All right.
But it says like you can pick a spell. But like I'm just gonna say you go ahead and pick one of your own spells. I would think that you would kind of store one of your spells into this. But I think.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if somebody else would be able to do it. I think another caster that might know that would know the spell would be able to do it, but
okay, so I couldn't put conjure animals in there for him to use.
Right, it would have to be something that like a similar spell on your list.
Okay.
You can imbue the gem with a spell if you have attuned to it and it's empty. To do so, you cast a spell holding the gem. Spell stored inside, blah, 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 blah. Casting the spell must require at least 1 action or 1 minute or longer. Spell's level must be a whole lighter than the gem's maximum. Oof.
Yeah, I like the idea of just being able to take one of your spells and store it in there, and you have it as a backup and to throw it out without.
Yeah. I'm cool with that.
Nice.
I appreciate it. So this doesn't say anything about it being higher.
No,
it's just a ring of spell storing with a single thing.
Yeah, single thing up to 3rd level. Yeah.
Snodlers has use for this ring, and then I describe what it does. And anyone else who can also cast spells would like this. I know you. God, I keep forgetting your name, Kolos. I know that you also can do this, and you have much less spells than I do.
I'm okay. I don't have any offensive spells that I can cast, because I don't think my Divine Smite is
that's
spell
an ability.
That's what I thought. So yeah, no, I'm good, thank you. I think if you loaded it up with something, that'd be a lot better off.
I feel Snodlers feels a little bit guilty because Snodlers keeps getting magic. Oh man, the Bloodstone Spell Gem is a rare item and can store up to a 3rd level spell. The stored spell saving throw is a DC 15 and has a +7 attack bonus. It doesn't use my own.
Yeah, that's why I guess I'm just gonna wave all that shit and just say let's just.
Oh, it's another spell for me. It's another spell slot that I pre-charge.
Yeah, pre-charge spell.
All right, that's cool.
Attack anyway, isn't it?
What was that?
That's your DC and attack anyway, isn't it?
Right now, yeah, but that means that later in the campaign it'll get worse.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Oh, cool.
Can you load it with a spell that you don't have prepared for the day?
Sure.
So, like, okay.
Well, what it means is I would load it for the night before, and then I'd change it the next morning.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, because you just have to like have I don't know, like an hour or something to be able to concentrate.
It's almost like a ring of spell storing.
Yeah.
That's how it now is, yes.
Yeah.
Which that's all of my attunements too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I better check mine. Oh.
Interesting. I can't say what I have attuned to it.
Most of mine don't require attunement, so that's cool. So if we needed to at some point, like whoever's taking watch for the night, if they want to use the Sentinel Shield, go ahead. And I'll just by default have it on during the day.
That doesn't require attunement?
It does not.
That's crazy.
So like if Colas wanted to use it while he's like on night watch or whatever, fucking go for it.
Just like to point out that Fireball's a 3rd level spell.
Oh yeah, I assume. I assume that's actually what you wouldn't put in there, because then you could have like fly or some bullshit like prepared, and then you could have just all of your Fireball spell slots.
No, that's ridiculous.
Snobblers cast 5 Fireballs a day, 3 from prepared, 1 from the thing, and a 4th level.
Right.
I mean, that's 5 Fireballs a day then.
Oh yeah, you're right. What'd I say, 4?
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of Fireballs, and the level 4 one is actually casted at level 6 and hard, and then I'm just kidding.
Fuck.
So it is stupid, but Fireball is the highest single target DPS spell I have right now.
Yeah, I was looking through, like, I actually don't have many damaging spells prepared most days.
Like, quite literally, if you look at my screen, it's the highest average and standard deviation spell I have.
I believe
And
it.
it's stupid.
All right. So cool. So you guys, Vasin does his meditating, and you guys all kind of like rest up and check the area. Everything seems secure. The place is definitely still, a pretty big mess, but it seems like it's able for the workers to come in and like finally clean this place up and kind of restore it back to its beauty. So maybe the Brotherhood can come back to here. Not to mention, Vasin, you did notice that out of the 10 monks that were here, you guys only found the bodies of 3 monks here. So,
And one of them was undead?
No.
Did I understand that right? I thought there was like a weird...
No, they're all dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
The body was the zombie, yeah.
Oh,
the
my
print
apologies.
that was turned.
So there's Vasin, Fold, and 3 dead guys. So there's 5 potentially MIA. Is that how... Am I understanding that properly?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang.
Excellent. All right, yeah. After all that's said and done, then I get up and dip out, and we go inform the dudes the fuck out of Dodge.
I'll dig, while they were doing all that, I'll dig 3 graves for the bodies. And then I guess just attempt to throw the undead pirate like just over the cliff. Probably fall over.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys tidy up, and it probably takes a little bit longer than an hour as you guys get everything done, and you make your way back down the steps and get back to the ship and give word to Captain Karth and Commander Antorus that the place seems secure. They give their thanks to you guys, and he's gonna let Lord Albrecht know right away to send the workers back and begin the work. And you guys return to your ship and probably, I'm assuming, head out towards Seaton towards the end of the day now. So you guys will probably end up getting to Seaton by nightfall. And I guess that's probably we'll just leave it there.
Mm-hmm. Well, when we stop, I just want to tell everyone that as I was meditating, Zendaka informed me that the staff of the trident was at the monastery at one point, but they were afraid that the storm giants were going to attack. And the monks sent the staff to the Isle of the Abbey.
Oh, shit.
To keep it safe in case the monastery was attacked.
Well,
he also informed me that it isn't wise for me to contact and meditate to him again because I am being watched more intently by a shadowy
tentacle beast?
Something.
Yes, creature thing.
The Isle of what would you say it was?
The place I asked you about before.
The place I foreshadowed. Oh.
The Isle of the Abbey. Remember when I first asked you the other day when we were leaving the king's palace?
Yes,
No?
I vaguely remember that.
I did mention at the beginning of this session also.
Yes. It was because I was trying to remember where that was, and I was looking at the map.
Yeah, it's not on the map. There is a small island that's near Saltmarsh. I don't know which map you guys are looking at. Is there a map in your journal?
Yeah, it's the Azure Sea map.
Oh, yeah, okay. I forgot.
It is actually on that map.
It's on that map? Okay.
Yep. You see that salt marsh? You see that little tiny little island right to the west of it?
Yep. There it is.
That's Island Abbey, yeah.
Yeah, Abbey Isle. So, and it's on the big map, but I didn't label it on the big map. But I will.
But yeah.
So
that's the information I gave you guys before we retire for the night.
So where are we planning on going tomorrow?
Well, we should go to Seaton and get our flags, and then probably head down to the Isle of Abbey.
Hell yeah.
Snautilus has more gold, so Snautilus will probably also go back to Scrolls and Noble.
Yeah, okay. Well, the
I gotta get another way of destroying a boat. It's gotta be new every time.
the flag merchant is over there anyway, so.
How was the gold split?
No one did that. I think Kolos wanted copper. I don't know how much.
I took all 500 copper, I took 500 silver, and 500 gold.
Just tell Snarlers how much he has.
I think Yuri would have wanted some of that gold, or if not all of it.
That's a lot of the gold you took.
Well, then take some. I don't need it all. Nobody was talking about it, so I just took it.
I figured. If Yuri was here, he'd be like, I snatch all the gold.
And he'd probably say, Meglar, why don't you give me your share?
The shield, I don't care about that.
I mean, if you want to split the gold between Meglar and you three, I don't care.
Hell yeah, I could use some of that gold.
Snarlers needs a lot of gold for a lot of spells.
I thought you need books.
He's got
Didn't
to
you
his
just-
spell books.
Paid, brother?
What was that?
Never mind.
There are always more spells that Snarlers can.
I know. That's what I kind of thought out loud. Excellent. And that's where it ends, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what we wanted then. Like, headed to Saltmar, or to Seaton, once again.
Seaton to get our flags and hopefully not killed for accidentally, on purpose, sinking a ship.
Sinking the casino.
There were pirates there. We blame it on them.
Snarlers
Yeah,
did
they
it.
deserved it.
They
They were innocent.
They stole my gold.
Pirates.
They deserved it.
They didn't steal your gold.
There was like a bunch of people just like vacationing there, just like having a good day at the casino. And then all of a sudden,
The way I see your gold is, Meglar, you were hanging out with a crackhead. That crackhead owed someone money. You were the crackhead's friend, so he took your money, and you have to get your money back from your crackhead friend.
basically, you just got a really expensive ship that we left untied in the middle of a lagoon.
That was sinking, most likely. So the guy technically was getting the money from the doofus that you were with, but since the doofus that you were with had no money, you became liable for his money because you're his friend.
Still, he shouldn't have got into my pockets.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But like I said, that's one bad guy. But it was like a whole ship of people just like having a vacation day. Like just having mimosas and doing some like fucking gambling. And now they're just dead.
Snarlers didn't kill him. The water did.
That's so good.
Look at it.
Yeah, I love it.